Old magazines, huh? Nice. That's good. I'm happy to hear that. I think you mentioned in the past, right, Commodore? I think it was you that you have a really hard time figuring out like what you want to study for, like what motivates you. So I'm glad to hear that. Having an AI OCR translate all the scanlation was so bad. It made me want to do, well, you know. I think that's fair enough of a reason, right? Sort of the desire to just want to be able to understand something without help, without tools. Understandable. Hey Leyland, how you doing? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up. I just figured out, I probably just figured out what I needed to do for the latency, but now it's too late. Okay, I think YouTube latency right now, how much is it? No, latency 33 sequence sec, I don't know. Okay, YouTube latency is still, oh, live latency 20 seconds, 24 seconds. Okay, sorry YouTube people. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, yes, I'm talking to you. You're gonna have like 20 seconds of latency, just to keep that in mind, but you probably won't have that next time because I literally just now figured out how to do it. The dual streaming thing is still a little bit complicated. But I know now where I need to go. I now know which menu I need to actually check it at, because when you go to just go live, it's not there. It's the other one. I need to go open my scheduled stream and I go to that setting and change it there. But how was I supposed to know that? Took a sick day. Quite relaxed. Hopefully the cough is gone tomorrow. Ah, yes. Well, we're all plagued by coughs. Are we not? I hope you feel better soon. Ads over. Yes. Ads over, yeah. True. Hey Rago, how you doing? Do I have? No, I don't. Okay. I was wondering, like, do I have a sound effect? I don't, though. Should I add one? Maybe. Hello! Hello, everyone! Okoshi... What was it? Okoshi... Something like... Okoshi itadaite... No, is it okoshi kite itadaite? I don't even know. What's like the very formal way of saying thank you for visiting? It's something with okoshi. It's kos, but they use that. Was it okoshi itadaite makoto ni arigatou gozaimashita? Draw a kanji. First that comes to the top of your head. First that comes to the top of my head. Well, I guess... I don't know, there's a bunch. There's a bunch that just like flashed through my head, but I'm gonna go with like one of them. I'm gonna be honest, you know, one of the first ones that comes to mind. No, it's not ichi, but it's kan. It's nihon, like the kanji no kan is the first that came to mind. So I'm gonna draw that. All right. So for those of you who have never seen me do this, I actually quite prefer to draw a little box. When I go try hard mode with kanji, I always try and draw a little box first. Even if it's a crude box like this, as long as it okoshi itadaki arigatou gozaimasu. Yeah, that one, okoshi. Yeah, so there. Thank you, Darkus. And then I like to split into quadrants like this. Very crude, just, you know, doesn't have to be super precise. But even just that, it kind of helps. Now, like, it gives me a better idea of where to start and where to stop. Because I don't do a lot of, like, kanji drawing and calligraphy stuff. So, yeah. Like, if you have, like, a little grid like this, it just makes it easier. I would consider myself still, like, amateurish at best when it comes to doing actual, like, nice-looking kanji. But this helps. So if you ever... And also, if you're practicing kanji, I would highly recommend getting graph paper that has grids on it. You know, the paper that has the little lines. I highly recommend that. And then usually it's a good idea to take like 2 by 2 and then write your kanji in there. It's usually pretty good. So yeah, I would do like kang. Ooh. Let's try not to veer off too much. Just kind of went somewhere there, not sure where. Ah. Okay, I'll go with this. There we go. Let's try getting this somewhat decent, eh? Kang! There you go. And if you're being really fancy, you could have drawn the grid on a separate layer and then just get rid of that and then you're left with just the kanji, but I didn't do that. There. Is that good? You like that? Alright. If you've seen the title, by the way. So you've seen the title, okay? First things first. Turn off the music. If you've seen the title of the video of the stream, before we get into Persona, or even while we get into Persona, but I'm curious, out of the people here on Twitch and on YouTube, how many of you took JLPT? How many of you are... You don't have to count for me, but you can just say, me, right here. Just point to yourself. Congrats on becoming... Yeah, sup, Eve? Hey, Jacob. How many people took JLPT? I'm studying for N5. Very good. Sadly, I did not take... Too far away. Yeah, that's a thing for many people. I am actually really... I'm very privileged when it comes to travel time to JLPT because it takes place at the university right in Zurich, and I live very close. Took N1, passed N2. Yeah? Is that how that works? It's like consolidation prize. It's like, wasn't quite enough, but we'll give you the other one. I only live like an hour away, and I commute to Zurich for work anyway. So it's not like it's a special sort of commute for me. I already do that. Oh, let me also... There we go. They do that? No, they don't. But it would be funny if they did, right? It'd be quite interesting if they actually did that. But they do not. They do not, in fact, offer that option. Maybe soon. Maybe now. I mean, you know, has someone messaged them and told them, like, hey, maybe you should do this? But it's... a bit far, requires overnight stay, and I'll wait till I feel confident at least N3. Yeah, that's fair enough, especially for overnight stays. Yeah, as you know, I took N1. Jacob also did N1, so both of us. And I also passed. I passed the JLPT N1. And honestly, like 90% of the reason that I took N1 is also just because so many people always ask me about the JLPT, and I could only ever like talk about N2 and like extrapolate to N1, which is not very reliable because as I've noticed, the jump between N2 and N1 is quite big. It is as they say, but it's also hard to really know for sure if you haven't taken the exam. Not yet. We'll probably take N2 in a few years when I feel like I'm past it without studying. Sure. Yeah. You should probably, I mean, I think just engaging with Japanese counts as studying, you know? So now it's very nice because now I've taken the stupid exams. I can be like, oh yeah, okay, so this is how it is. This is exactly how it is. And I assume they're not much different. I will probably take it again eventually just to see. I'm also curious. Well, there's two things. I'm curious if I can get a better score, especially in reading. I'm kind of disappointed with my reading score. And I'm surprised by my grammar score. I got on brand, right? Game grammar, come on, right? But I got a 47 out of 60 for grammar and vocab. I did not expect that. I'm not gonna lie, there's definitely some lucky guesses in there, for sure. But I did not expect to get like a 47 on grammar and vocab. But the cool thing is, like, now I've taken both N2, N, and 1, even though there's like a huge time difference between the two. And also, fun fact, I took N2 in 2017, okay? It's a while ago. I took N2 in December of 2017. Back then, I scored 168 points out of 180. I took N1 many years later, like what, 5 years later? 5 years later, and I got 133 out of 180 points, which is still fine. It's still like way more than half, but yeah, I should probably have done more study. How do native speakers do on the N1? Okay, so now finally I can talk about this with more confidence. As a native speaker would score really well on N1. And I used to always say this, but obviously I didn't know for sure because I never took the exam. So it's like I don't have first-hand experience, but I would go by things people say, and I can finally speak from experience. Any native person should pass N1. It's not a difficult exam for a native speaker because keep in mind, N1 is any JLPT. JLPT is a multiple choice exam, okay? You just have to draw in boxes which one is the best one. They literally say like 1から、was it? It's usually 1から4まで or 1から5までの答えから一番 or 最もいい答えを選択してください. Something like that, right? Pick the most fitting one out of the 5. What did you do to study? I'll get into like how I study, and I'll get into how I would tell others to study and all of that stuff in a bit. But yeah, up to 4. Okay, yeah, it's up to 4. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so they just ask you like which out of these 4 is the most fitting. And like if there's any skill a native speaker should have, it's to pick the most fitting answer out of a selection of 4, right? Now, I'm not saying how high would they score? Well, I would assume they would score really well. I would assume they would score somewhere in the 80% at least, I think. If you're well read, if it's like a person that is like, let's say 16 or older, if it's a person that at least does a little bit of reading and it's not like a complete person, like it's not like, that sounds so harsh when I say this. No, it's not a person that never reads anything, right? There's people like that in every country, but if you're like, you read like a book or 2 a year maybe, or at least you read stuff online, like you're used to reading, you might maybe read like a newspaper every now and again. You're not like a complete reader phobe, I don't know, or maybe you're illiterate or you have a disability or anything like that. Excluding those people, then definitely I would say like 80% should be very doable without practice, because the listening part honestly is trivial if you're a native speaker. Like you should be able to understand everything they're saying. It's your job as a native speaker. The vocab and grammar is, despite it being, like, keep in mind, like, the JLPT N1 asks you for, like, a kanji knowledge of bibliophobe. That's pretty good. Why is that text green? Is there is it green because it didn't... Okay, wait, So, yeah, they ask, like, what, 2,000 and some kanji, right? But keep in mind, like, the average adult knows, like, freaking 2,500 to 3,000 kanji characters, right? In terms of being able to recognize them in a word. And that's like that's just the average. So yeah, knowing like the 2,000 and some is not that big of a deal if you're just a normal adult Japanese person. Then vocab, well, the JLPT assumes that you know anything between, I would say, maybe 6,000 to 10,000 words of vocab. That too is very standard. The average native speaker of any language probably knows in the neighborhood of at least passive knowledge in terms of being able to understand a word in context. I've heard statistics anywhere between like 15 to 20,000 being an average for an adult native speaker, right? So all of those things tell us that, and my own experience tells me that, yeah, any native speaker should do fairly well in N1. And we're talking 75 to 80% points. If anyone wants to argue about this or has points that would disagree, then feel free to bring those arguments. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but I'm pretty sure that's what I would say. they would score high. There's some stuff they might get wrong because there's a lot of all these. Yeah, I'm sure there are people would like make mistakes. But like, you know, if a non-native speaker can get 100%, then for sure a native could. So let me see. Should phrase without directly starting for N2, still starting Japanese, but not directly. Yeah, okay, sure. That's fair enough, IDJ. There's a lot of N1 stuff weak gamers use. It's a bit uncommon for the average person. VM. Yeah, that's true too. I can also talk about how is modern Japanese penmanship. I think Japan, despite using kanji as a writing system, has really good and really high rates of literacy in terms of being able to read and write. I think they're in the top of the world in terms of like percentages of people that are literate, in terms like they can read and write. So I think Japan is probably up there for the countries that people actually are able to write quite a bit. I mean, after the smartphone age. So I have actually Googled this, and it seems that past introduction of things like smartphones and digital writing, while writing skill has gone down, it's not nearly as much as people would assume. I think it's like a few percentage points in terms of like how capable people are. It has gone down, but it's not as wild as people think. I've seen like studies about this, but I can't give them to you. I don't have them ready. But I remember it being like noticeable, but not as crazy as people think. It's kind of the same for here, like or Western countries, I think. Just fill in the circles. No writing needed. Yeah, no, there is no writing. Western can't write cursive. Way to go, Japan. Cat. You want to see my cat? Special guest. Special cat guest. Do you need to be able... Yeah, so there's no writing for the JLPT. Even N1, there's no writing. You don't need to be able to write anything at all. So you can just... Well, you need to be able to color in circles. That's very important. He likes to bump his head against the microphone when he's in this position. Good kitty. Yeah, it's all multiple choice, which is, again, why the JLPT is definitely not the be-all, end-all for Japanese skill. I would say that the JLPT does a good job of testing testing like reading comprehension. Because, you know, how else are you going to read, except for like an interview where you're like one-on-one getting interviewed after reading a text. A multiple choice of like what was the text trying to say is probably a decent enough way of estimating someone's understanding of a text that they just read, you know. People who study Japanese but aren't N1 sign up for N1 for jokes and past tense multiple choice. I wonder how many. It's a lot of questions. I think the chance of you getting it random is very, very, very low. Like, educated guesses is one thing. Oh my gosh, he's so dirty. He was outside. Oh no. Literally, these pants are literally new. Okay, well, cool. Cats. What a pleasure. So you're like N1.5? I mean, I passed N1, so I'm N1, right? Is that how that works? Yeah, I don't think anyone would ever pass it by accident. Yeah, for sure. That seems very unlikely to me. The main part that's surprising, in my opinion, is for N1 compared to N2. Even back in 2017, I took N2 and I finished the reading section 20 minutes before time was up for that part of the exam. In N1, I finished just about 10 or 8 minutes before the time was up. Now, I was still able to read every single word and go through everything in enough detail without rushing. But the fact that there's like a 5-year gap between when I took N2 and N1 and still my reading speed had not like outweighed the I guess the change in like how big the amount of text was, that was quite surprising. I really thought I would be finished sooner because I think my reading speed is like quite decent. Now, I was not trying to speed read. I was trying to read it clear and as detailed as I can without understanding as much as I can. But still, the fact that I just barely sort of finished everything in time was surprising to me. I didn't think that the difference would be that big. Hello, Tagovnik and Moe. Did you read any non-YA? What is non-YA? Japanese novels? Not really. I'm also a bad example. Like, oh yeah, I wanted to get into study tips. Okay, so what did I use to study N1? Nothing really. I just kept reading manga. I didn't really study for N1. Young adult. Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't really study for N1. I just kept doing what I'm doing. I've read like my share of articles on the internet. I've read my share of news articles. I've read my share of whatever. I haven't read that much like adult literature because I'm just not that into it for now. Maybe I'll get into it, but yeah, young adult. I mostly read manga these days. I mean, I've read like 23. Yeah, I've read like 23 volumes of Komi-san in the last 2 months, or 3 months. But that's what I did, and it was enough because I've been studying Japanese for so long. I've seen most things, and it was enough to pass. Okay, it was enough to pass the exam. Now again, I didn't do great on the reading section. I only had 33 out of 60 points on the reading section, so only just about half. Which I definitely thought I would do better on reading. Is a bit disappointing. Definitely maybe thinking about going for it again after practicing some more with some more complicated reading material, because I will be the first to admit that I'm not learning much when I'm reading Komi-san. I don't even use a dictionary. When I read Komi-san, I don't need a dictionary. I just sit there, I read it, I enjoy it. I understand everything that it's trying to say. Maybe once a volume, there would be like a word that they use that I don't know, but for the most part, I'm not learning anything new when I'm reading Komi-san. Now, I would probably learn much more if I read like some more dense light novel, and I would learn even more if I was reading some Murakami book or whatever, which... I mean, I still have the time to do that. I can do that whenever I want. Screw studying, make the skill. So, okay, this is what I did, okay? I'm not saying this is what you should do. So let me talk about tips that I would give to people if they want to study for N1 and they don't want to be lazy like me. If you do want to study for N1, I would actually give the following advice to you. You should probably focus a amount of your reading time on more serious sort of more dry reading material like news articles and like really like dense news articles and like columns like online. And you should do something that maybe focuses on topics that you are unfamiliar with. That could be finance, that could be politics, whichever you can bear with, I guess. And try and really get in there, try and really absorb a lot of vocab from the things that you don't know yet. Try and like expand your vocab that way. I've always liked, and I still do like, the Nihongo no Mori streams. They do these like grammar matome where they have like a 3-hour video and it's every single grammar point that you might see in like N1. I really like them for N2 and N1 because it's this nice package deal, and they explain all the grammar points in Japanese. And if you're at the level of N2 or N1, the way they do it, I think really works for that target audience because they mostly compare them to more basic grammar points, and they do it all in Japanese. And I think that's a really good way of acquiring these new grammar points really, really quickly, because all you're doing is like linking them to things that you already are supposed to know. It's like, oh yeah, so this is just a more formal way of saying that other thing, and it carries a slight nuance of blah, 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 and then you're learning that. I think that's good. You're just getting exposed to those grammar points, and then hopefully in your reading material you might find the same grammar points again. How often do you guess a word successfully by the context? Very often. Guessing by context is, if you understand over 95% of a text, guessing the remaining 5% by context becomes quite easy. And then as you increase that, as it goes to like 99%, it gets even easier. Like many times, a word in context that you understand almost completely is very easy to guess. There's only really so many things it could be. It's like, I went to a pizza restaurant, or I went to a pizzeria, and after we enjoyed a salad, we ordered a pizza. It had tomatoes on it, and it had tomatoes on it and mozzarella, and that was it. So it's like, well, how many words can get in there? It's probably some type of pizza. And it's probably a pizza margarita, right? It's like, at some point, it becomes pretty clear. There is obviously, that's not true for every time that happens. But, yeah, just, this is like an example of like, well, how many words could possibly fit in there, right? It's not that many. And even if you can't pinpoint which word it is, you probably at least know what is its job, like what is the word doing in that sentence, and you probably know you know its like grammatical function, hopefully, and you kind of know like what type of word it should be, like some like noun or whatever, and you hopefully can also kind of tell. You can also kind of tell like, oh, okay, it's supposed to be this type of like food or whatever. I heard knowing 95 is annoying because often the last 5 keys keep... Yeah, there's an article online that makes like an example of what it's like to understand 80%, what it's like to understand 90% and 95 and so on and so on. Of course, it depends. So like, here's an example of where 95% isn't enough. Let's say you're reading a more complicated text that uses a lot of words that you're unfamiliar with that are critical to that topic specifically. Let's say you're reading an article about physics and it's using a 5% amount of words that are just like really important. There's actually the words that you need to know to make sense of what it is. Then yeah, you know, the 5% is really gonna kick your butt. But there's also cases where 5% you can just guess and it's fine. It's very hard to make a general statement. So yeah, identifying a role of a burden more contributes to, yeah. That's why I think learning a little bit of grammar, especially as a beginner, is like ultra useful. I strongly support, I strongly like advocate for like at least learn a little bit of grammar, right? I'm not the person that says like you need to know every single grammar point and you need to be able to break it down and do this and do that and like need to know what it's called in Japanese and whatnot. That's useless. But I'm also not the person who's going to tell you, don't worry about grammar, just focus on vocab and immersion and it will be fine. I don't think that's very rewarding. I think that with just like a few months of grammar study mixed in to your normal study, you can do so much in terms of just recognizing what is this word doing? Like, what is this word supposed to do in this sentence? Why is it here? Why is it this word? Like, is it an adjective? Does it describe something? Is it supposed to describe something? Where does this, like, how do I break down the sentence? What's the subject? Like, who is even doing the thing in this sentence, right? Like, we use grammar terms like subject, object, and stuff like that, and they sound complicated. But in truth, knowing what the subject of a sentence is really important to understand what the sentence is doing. Even if you don't know that what you're looking for is called a subject in grammar, but knowing that the subject is the person or the thing that is doing the action is really important to understanding what the sentence is trying to say. So even if you're not learning grammar, you're still learning grammar. Like grammar is just sort of the structure that holds it all together, and you need to learn it either way. And a lot of things... YouTube impressions by making low effort polls and posts for us to endorse. Sure. What do you want me to make a poll about? Was the JLPT difficult? Yes, no, like and share. And there's a lot of basic grammar that can be like explained to you in your native language, like English or whatever, or like a language you understand, where it's like, okay, listen, this is how it works, and I'll just you'll take like half an hour or an hour. And you'll just learn about this concept, and it will be vague at first. You are not going to understand it fully. It'll be like, okay, I think I get what they're trying to say, but I can't really imagine how it'll actually end up working and what it'll actually be. But I'm kind of getting it, like subject. Yeah, okay, it's kind of supposed to be there. I think it's going to be like a noun, or could it be something? I'm not sure. What is a noun? And like as you go, you'll understand more and more. And then the critical point is that you're actually going to go out into the wild world of Japanese or any language that you're trying to learn. And you're going to be exposed, and you're like, this is it. This is the thing that the article is trying to tell me about. And then you're like, okay, so that's how it works. And then it'll probably be like 60% correct about what you think it is. It's like 60% correct. And then you'll see a counterexample, and then you'll just have to slowly adjust your understanding of it until it sort of covers the whole thing, until it's at like as close as 100% as it can be. Because you're never going to be at 100% if I explain to you some like grammar point that is more than like very, very basic. It's like, okay, like what is an adjective? Even that, I don't know. Like there's a lot of grammar that seems simple but isn't. You're probably never going to be like at 100% from like looking at it for the first time as a concept. But as you get exposed to it, you can just sort of adjust the concept in your head until it fits everything. It's like literally the neural network stuff, right? We're just adjusting dials until the thing fits completely, right? And then we find like an outlier that's like, oh shoot, it doesn't fit into the model. Better twist some more dials. That's what we're doing, okay? Other times when I'm overwhelmed by reading, I know beginner was like that. Yeah, I think that personally, being overwhelmed is not a bad thing, and we need to stop thinking that it's like really bad to be overwhelmed. I see a lot of people that get really, a lot of people really struggle with feeling overwhelmed when trying to learn a thing. But if it's like a low pressure environment, like if you're not like forced to learn Japanese in a year, or you're gonna get kicked out the country or something like that, right? If it's like low stress and you're just doing it as a hobby, then like be chill about being overwhelmed. It's fine. It's expected. You should be overwhelmed. Like that's okay. You need to, I think it's a really important skill to be able to deal with the feeling of being overwhelmed every now and again. If you're constantly overwhelmed, you're probably in a way high stress environment and you're, I don't know, something's not good. You need to talk to someone about that. But if you're sometimes overwhelmed, that's okay. Especially if you're learning something complicated. That's how it is. That's what you're gonna have to learn to deal with. And it's not a bad thing. And you need to just sort of find your own way through it. But you also need to sort of like find ways that are still enjoyable to you. Now, I'm a bit of a weirdo when it comes to being overwhelmed in Japanese. And this is I don't know why this is like that, okay? But when I started learning Japanese, I was overwhelmed, but I never burnt out. I had like infinite stamina for being overwhelmed when I started learning Japanese. I don't know why. I think it was a mix of having a healthy mindset about learning a language, having a really big motivation of wanting to learn it, and feeling really rewarded by every single little victory that I had. When I started learning, I was not part of any Discord groups. Heck, I don't think Discord existed. When I started learning, I wasn't part of any Discord groups. I wasn't part of any online stuff. I didn't have any people. Now, this is not necessarily a good thing. I'm just saying how it was for me, right? I wasn't studying in a group. It was just me, right? No one else was studying. I barely talked about that I was studying Japanese. When someone asked me, I would tell them. And I'd be like, yeah, it's cool, I'm doing this and that. But I wouldn't really, bring it up. It's just something I did. It was for myself, by myself. It was a thing that I did for my own purpose. And I started studying when I was in high school, and I was doing German class, I was doing English class, and I was doing French class. So I had a good idea of sort of just basic grammar concepts. I had a good idea of how grammar concepts can apply across different languages, because I was learning the same grammar in 3 different classes, and I was like, oh, well, I guess this is just always kind of the same thing. And I picked up Taikim's grammar guide, and I started reading, and I was like, oh, so I guess Japanese does grammar like how every other language kind of does grammar, just a little bit different. And then I picked up some manga in Japanese pretty soon after that. I think a few months after like reading the grammar and doing Anki and vocab. And I would spend like an hour on a single page. I would just sit there and I would stare at the page. I would do like an hour for one page. And I understand that most people probably will get bored, tired, or burnt out. I just didn't. I didn't really like talk to anyone. Like, I didn't talk to people online about the struggles that they had. I wasn't really interested in how other people feel about it. I just knew how I felt about it, and I didn't feel tired. I felt great. I would stare at the page. I would go through. Now, I bought a manga. I bought paper manga. I didn't buy it digitally. I bought it paper, and I would have it open. I would have my phone, and I would radical search. I would use part search or radical search for every single word on the page. Like, well, that's not true. I didn't do, because I read with furigana, so I could type them in. But later on, when I tried to read my first manga without furigana, I did radical search for every single word I didn't know. And I spent hours and hours and hours just doing that. And for some reason, I just never felt that it was annoying. I never felt it was bad. I never felt like it burnt me out. But that's not advice. That's what happened for me. I've talked to many people that would, from their experience, they would never be able to do that. And that's okay. Like, it's the type of person you are. And I've had, funny enough, is that, sounds terrible. I definitely couldn't do that for hours. I did for hours and hours on end. Yeah, for ages. What's funny is that I've had the same type of burnout that people explain for Japanese. I've had it with other hobbies. Freaking playing the piano, I still am trying to fight my burnout that I have with trying to actually get better at piano. Like, I just can't do it. I don't enjoy the process as much. I don't enjoy being bad at something when it is the piano. But for some reason, when it was Japanese, I had a great time being bad at it. Taiken was so dry for me. Well, I needed something that I could read. Taiken was the first thing I found, and I think I'm the type of person that really likes to the point, like logical sort of quick information. I'm just like, don't give me a million example sentences. I'm not going to read them. I know I won't. Like, Imabi has like a million example sentences. If I was starting now, I would never read those. I don't care. Give me like a quick explanation. Tell me like, this is that, this is that, is that. Like, use some difficult words if you need to, like, oh, adverb, part phrase, like noun phrase and stuff like that. If I don't know the word, I can go look it up. It's fine. Make it short, make it quick. I just need to understand the broad concept, and then I'll go grab my book, and then I will see like the thing that the guy talked about. I was like, oh, so that's that, I think. Right? And that's how I learned the grammar for the most part. I misheard Taiken. As the other one light novel I actually can get through a super version, but I can't find anywhere where to ship it to me. I lose motivation faster reading on screen. Paper makes me more patient. I just like also like paper. I've been pretty good about reading every night before I sleep, so I'll just turn on my lamp, I'll grab manga, I'll grab a light novel, I'll grab whatever, I'll just read for an hour. That's like a good process for me to sort of like slow down after I already spent too much time in front of my PC, as most of us probably do, but yeah. Dead trees, true. Okay, have you tried eBay? eBay. Translators be like 1 hour. Did this skip onomatopoeia? What a slacker. That's true. The one thing that I never bothered looking up past a certain point was like onomatopoeic expression. Hold me at gunpoint, so I'd start putting in some effort. True. I talked about this also on the other Discord recently, but I feel like I feel that I'm way more willing to try and be productive when I'm already busy. Like, when I'm already busy and I'm already doing stuff, then I want to do even more stuff, but I can't because I'm too busy. I don't even have time. Like, if I work, I have like a very long work day, and I go home and like, oh man, now I really feel like starting in some new programming project, and I might do that, I might not. But then when I'm on holiday, or I'm before I had a job, I was out of a job for a while. Do you think I did anything productive? No, I was sitting at home playing video games and watching YouTube videos, and I didn't feel like doing anything productive. But then the busier I get, the more I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do more stuff. I don't know why that is. It's just weird. It's just me being freaking stupid is what it is. Like, I wish I was able to use my time productively. Yes. Okay. We kind of drifted way far off the JLPT topic. To go back to JLPT real quick, having done N1 now, I will say that it was just about as difficult as I thought it would be. I'd said that even after I took it, and the results seem to sort of say the same. Like, now that I've got the results, my score is pretty much where I thought it would be. However, I would have switched the reading score with the grammar score. But the total score I get like a 133, I think, 133. It's pretty much right in the ballpark that I thought I would get, but just somewhere between 120 and 150 somewhere. That's what I thought I would get, and that's what I got. So it's very expected results. I'm still happy that I passed, because obviously you never know. Part of me was still, I opened my scores on the train on my phone going to work, and like a big part of me was still like, well, it could be a fail. Like, I have no idea. I might press it and it says failed with 80 points or something like that. But that didn't happen. It was exactly what I expected it would be, except for my reading score being quite a bit lower than I thought it would be. Because I really felt that my reading questions, I got them right, but the reading part, I suppose, is the most up to interpretation one, where you really have to be like, well, what actually is it trying to say? Is it like this, or is it this other answer? I don't know. They both sound good. Did you simulate N1 test online before going? We did it once on stream. I clicked on the JLPT website and I did the trial exam that they have on their official website. I did it once on stream. And we went through it, but that's it. I never did. I don't own Kanzen Master. I didn't even go through every grammar point. basically just went into N1 with the skill that I had at the time. Like that's just like the Japanese that I had built up naturally through what I do for the last like 10 years or whatever. That's how I went in, and it was enough to pass, which is not surprising, by the way. I feel like anyone should be able to pass N1 after like 10 years. I've seen people do it in 2, right? That part is not the impressive part. But yeah, I didn't do any like focused study. I did what I did, and I think if I really dug deep into the grammar and the vocab, really did my Anki and everything like that for the half a year before going to the exam, could have probably started like could have probably scored much higher. 2 years from N5, 2 years from nothing to passing N1. Yeah, well, Rock, who hangs around here, literally did that. So like if he shows up in chat, I can show you. But yeah, I know people personally who just kind of started like 2 years ago. I literally watched them start. I was literally there when they're like, oh, I'm gonna pick up Japanese, and now they passed N1. It's only been like 2 years, I think. It's doable. You'd be surprised. I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that the average human being has the capacity of more or less getting any language to fluency within just about 2 years. If you're really spending multiple hours a day, if you're really talking to the native speakers all the time, if you're really engaging with it, I think it's almost impossible not to learn it, you know? So you just winged it, hoping Phoenix Wright would give you the strength needed, and it did. Thanks, Capcom. True. It's Phoenix Wright and also all of the other stuff that I read and played before that. Did you hear about the guy who hit N1 in 8 months? He made the Learn Japanese Reddit so mad. Yeah, I'm assuming. I don't see that being impossible at all, because N1 is the JLPT is a very studyable exam. Vocab is very studyable. Is that a word? If it's not a word, then I'm inventing it right now. Vocab is the Nukige, right? Oh, is that the guy? Oh, we're talking about literally that guy? I thought it was some other guy. Yeah, it doesn't really surprise me that much, because the method you use almost at some point doesn't matter that much, as long as it gives you multiple hours a day of language exposure. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me if you're diligent enough and if you get your exposure enough. But then I haven't read the post. Didn't he also say like, oh, I never did Anki, never did anything? He did only that? I'm not sure, but who knows? I could see it though. It's not impossible for sure. Yeah. But many people can do N3 in 6 months and 5 to 6 more for N2, extra year for N2. Sounds possible. Yeah. Scientist or something, I can't remember. Dude, the guy. He is actually he's the messiah that we've waited for. He came, saw, and conquered. He actually did. Can you skip Ns? Yeah. I only did N2 and N1. I skipped right to N2 for my first one. You can do only N1. Rock, the guy I mentioned, he only did N1. It's the only one he did. So yeah, you don't have to do all of them. Also, actually, I would recommend you skip N5. If you're serious about getting like JLPT certificates, you should probably skip N5. You don't really need to go take that exam. It doesn't really prepare you for anything, and it's just kind of like money you pay. And N5 is like, it's fairly simple. You could probably, like, if you really cram, you could probably do N5 in the matter of like a month or two, just trying to really cram the vocab, because it's not that much. It's like I think it's like a few hundred words, which is like nothing. You can literally learn that. Like using Anki, you probably learn 100 words in like a few weeks, you know? I think N5, the explanations of how to do the test are probably harder to read than the test itself. Kind of should see it as one thing. Yeah. But it's up to you. If anyone wants to take N5, I think that's cool if you want to. I'll give like my honest opinion in terms of, you know, I would skip it. I would recommend skipping it. But if you feel like I want to take it, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, you might as well take it. It's also just another thing is that N5 is basically, there's almost no usage for it if you actually want to use it in a sort of career setting. So like having N5 is almost never a requirement. Like if N5 is the requirement, then you're more likely to have no language requirement. And if there is a language requirement, you're more likely to suit N3 or above. So getting N5 is kind of like, if you want to do it, you can do it. It's fine. People say that it's like very expensive. I mean, that depends on your socioeconomic situation and also the country you live in. it's not crazy. Like if you compare the JLPT cost to something like the Cambridge English exam cost, it's quite minor. Like the Cambridge exam, I think, is 2 or 3 times more expensive, right? But it also covers quite a lot more. It does a interview section, I think, and it does an essay and you know, whatever. No one cares N5, job point of view. I remember seeing that Reddit post. Skipping N5 is what I thought of. Sounds like a tease. I'm studying for N5, but don't think I'll take the N1 even if I was studying to ace it. Yeah, sure. For me, taking N1 is just, it's sort of a bucket list thing. I wanted to do it at some point. It also helps me from like a perspective of like streaming, because people obviously want to know, right? The JLPT is a huge point of interest. Thank you for subscribing, Quexten, am I saying that right? The JLPT is a huge point of discussion for all Japanese learners. Not all of them, but as a group, it is a big point of discussion. So yeah, it's very useful to have taken it. It's very useful to have passed it. It gives perspective. It enables me to talk about it. If I wasn't doing like streaming or any form of like teaching Japanese or talking about Japanese online to people, I probably wouldn't have taken it. Or maybe I would. It would just be like a benchmark for myself. But as someone who talks to people about this stuff, it's super useful to just having taken it, having passed it, having an opinion, an informed opinion about it even. Yeah. All right. We can keep talking, but I will start getting into the game now, because we need to do like dungeon crawl anyway. I put it in the stream title too. So yeah, boring stream incoming. So we better keep talking about actually interesting stuff like Nukige and stuff. But yeah, we need to go through this dungeon. Continue. Also, we're using the super cool quick save feature that I almost lost my mind over last time because I thought the game deleted my frickin' progress. Base objective. There's something serious. You can start reading specializing in what you kind of. Oh, also, hey, by the way, quick thing. You like the chat font so far? Is that mostly received positively? Is it legible, large enough? Everything good? Yeah, it's Google font. I don't even know what it's called. It's called something, okay? It's like a pixel font. I think it's cute. It's free too, so. What were these guys? Oh, these I actually don't know. Usually flying enemies are weak against... Oh, lightning. They're weak against wind, actually. Garu. Do we have 2 of them? I think... Okay, I'm gonna try. Oh, Chia is dead. Chia-chan shinda. Oh, never mind. They're healed by it. 疾風が効かない。効かないもんね。効かないもんね。Okay. Well, shit. You don't have Hikari, do you? No, you have Mudo. Well, that's useless. Heal someone. Heal yourself! 自分を回復せよ。History. Skill. Geo. Geo ならどう? Maybe Geo is good. Now all I have to do is pass Kanken Ichi, right? Jacob, are you still here? We should study for Kanken together. That's what we're gonna do, right? Who's with me? Who's gonna go for Kanken 1? I'm not, by the way. That's a total joke. I will never do that exam. That sounds like the biggest pain in my behind ever. But I should take my vocab study more seriously. I think it all hinges on how committed I can be to my freaking reading. And, I mean, while Jake is here, I will say Jake is a very good motivator for doing more reading because of the reading challenge thing. Mahajio. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to be much more serious with that. Because I'm so bad, dude. I've not, like, for months at a time, my only reading was unironically playing the games that I play on stream here. That's it. Unironically. This is like, I could be reading a book right now, but I could also keep watching silly, dumb, useless YouTube videos for another 5 hours. Well, the choice is clear, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube it is. And that's the life I live. But now that I've been more consistent about like, well, okay, we're gonna go to sleep and then just read for an hour before I sleep. Not only does it get me to go to sleep earlier, which is good, it also is fun. But like, I just need to like force myself to have fun, dude. I'm so bad. It's so hard. It's so hard. I feel like if I could, if I didn't have like a job, if I was rich, dude, holy shit. If I was born into a rich family, unironically, I would never do anything at all. I just play video games all day. I would just like, I see no point in doing anything ever at all. I'm so bad. I'm like unable to be productive. It's an illness. I don't know. Well, I guess it's good that I don't live in a rich family because Jesus Christ. I'm just like so happy doing nothing. Like you've never met a person as happy to do nothing all day as me. I'm not even like depressed. I'll be super happy. I'm like, another day of doing nothing. Yes, let's go. That's so bad. Trying once a day as well. One page is still a win. True. Yeah, even one page. It starts with one step, right? Senri no michi mo ippo kara is what they say. Who are you guys? I hate these guys. Gah! Okay, we'll use an item. Step These guys are oh wrong button. Wrong button. These guys are kind of, well, that's good because Maharagi. Yukinasai. Yes. This is 3回1から3. Oh, I hope it's 3, dude. Kill Rush, I think. F. Oh, just 1. That is an F. That is a big F. You missed. So I missed. Does anyone know Beanta's boat? Oh my, what? Excuse me? Did he just do 330 damage? Bro! Bro! What was that? フロアに入ったところからリトライするか、well, I guess. I could also go back to the menu and just load my save. It's kind of the same though. 厳しいな。厳しい。Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I couldn't stop. I couldn't help myself. I'll do better. I've learned my lesson. I'm so sorry. Please. Please don't unsubscribe. Okay. It wasn't Garu. It was actually Gio. So we're gonna Gio these people. Maha Gio. I can't believe he did 300. That's like more health than I have almost. Tsuigeki. This is the best part. When she does that, I wish she would do it every time. You should just do that every time. It's only the way to go. Yukiko! 赤い女神の円の何々. Yeah. I do feel like we should be able to skip this because I've seen it like a million times now, but it's okay. It's much better. 2 more! Ooh, okay. What level are you? Level 22. High Pixie. Well, I'm gonna get all the cards anyway, so... Oh, I only have... No, I can get all of them. But now it's gonna change to an Arcana. Or whatever. Well, Lucky Chi can make bosses, not full bosses though. Dude, I wish. Never complain about a free win. That's true. That's true. We ain't ever. Oh, I leveled up. Good. I wish a level up would restore my health. That would be nice. Urusai. Urusai. SP. Dude, Kanji has so much SP left. Dude, I wish. Who has the most SP? Gio, well, Gia doesn't have Gia, so... Alright, that's good. That's fine. This game was the second one I played in Japanese, and it was a treat to see it here on stream. Nice. Well. Feel you may feel treated. You're welcome. I did it just for you. Love this dungeon. Just keep getting ASMR whispered in the back of my head. These guys are... Oh, is he gonna reflect? Is he gonna reflect all elements? I think so, probably. Dungeon will get us banned. If that's what it takes, you know, if that's what it takes. I don't know. Just attack. Because these guys are not like... Oh, they're resistant. Well then, it's not really worth... Do I have a focused attack? Assault Daibu. This one is focused on 2 damage. Yeah, this is good. So we'll try and take this guy out first. Mazu Saisho wa. See? That's what we do. Fire's normal. I don't think she has anything useful here, so we will go... Vocab. 違う. Media. 違う. Patrol. Okay, cool. You're useless. Good. I didn't want you to be useful anyway. Do I look like someone that wants you to be useful? Because you're wrong. Please hit him more than... Okay, that was 2 hits, I think. Do you have... Mikata no kougeki ryoku wo up? That's perfect. Tarukaja. うるさい。何をしようとしていたのは。Bro! Stop! He forgot what to do? You need to attack! That's what you need to do! Are you stupid? I'm gonna murder a person. I'm going to do it. This is so stupid! Oh, Counto. Well, it's not less stupid now. Less stupid. I mean, whatever. Do I care? No. Just attack. Yeah, okay. Frickin' what? Oh my gosh. Does she have a thing to heal status effects? No, of course she doesn't. Bro, I'm just waiting to use Geo. What's the big deal, huh? Well, now it's kind of stupid because I don't want to use SP for just one enemy. I'm just gonna attack. Oh, doesn't oh shoot, I should have checked. I think Yukiko has strangely never asked, what do you like about Komi-san? Komiyosho? You might have an item that, yeah, I should have an item that does it. But at this point, the stupid statue is almost done. There's so many things to like about Komi-san. Could you stop? There's many surface level things to like surface level. The character designs are cute. All the character designs are really cute. The characters are really fun. I like the art. It's what is like surface level. If we talk about art, I like the paneling. I think it's nice. I like the way that fashion is portrayed. I've talked about that a bit. Now, like some of the less surface level stuff, I generally like. I will say, having just all the volumes here and being able to read a full volume at a time, I think is a much preferable experience than trying to read it weekly. Because sometimes there's just like a little gag chapter. But if you're trying to read it weekly and you're kind of waiting for the big developments, that sucks. But if you have the full volume, you don't mind if like there's a little gag chapter in there. You read it and you're like, huh, that was funny. And then you move on to the next chapter. So I think it's a much better experience to read it in one go, to binge it. The cockroach guy. No, favorite character, I really like... for like little gag characters, I think Emoyama-san is really funny whenever she shows up. For longer people that have more appearances, I really like Otori. She's just really cute, and I like her dynamic with Onemine, and I really like Manbagi. We're gonna go with this, and then we're gonna go... Oh gosh, I don't want any of you. I don't like any of you people. Oh, I can do all. Never mind. Well, I'll get all then. I generally... Oh, I think Najimi is really funny. Najimi is a really fun character to have around. I don't really care about Hole, to be honest. And do I care about High Pixie? Maybe. I don't know. King Frost. I want to keep King Frost. We're going to keep Principality, but we might get rid of... Yeah, we'll get rid of you. And then also just Komi-san, the way it's written and everything, I just find myself sort of I like little rom-com stuff because it just makes me feel good. I just find myself like giggling like a little girl when I read it. I'm like, oh, that's so cute, or oh, that's adorable. Oh, I just like that. It's not for everyone, but for me personally, I have a great time just doing that. So yeah, nice. Actually destroyed. So now I can do this. Absolutely based. I did that on purpose. That was all planned right from the start, all the way through the end. Bam, 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 bam. Ooh, okay. Chie, best girl. Yomotsu ikusa. Yomotsu ikusa. Yomotsu ikusa. Dude, that's really cool. What is this? セルブレーカーセルブレーカー敵遺体に物理属性で中ダメージを与える確率で老化効果を与えるマハブフ I mean, it's really cool, but it looks cool. If it's really useful, I don't know. It looks cool though. We have 3 cards we can get. I should probably get a key. I will get some stamina recovery, and I'll get this guy. Picture manga slow tier. That's a big spoiler. Well, I guess if you don't say what it's about, but yeah. But yes, that's a really good panel. There's a bunch of panels. I literally just read that volume, and there's a few of those like slow changing of facial expression, like multiple panel shots, and they're really good. I guess it's not a huge spoiler that like, oh, someone cries, but still. Buetaru. 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 Do you make puns in Japanese? Like, the closest I can do is Ohayo gozaimasu in Cleveland, Ohio. But I speak both kind of pun. I like puns, but the game is beatable with just Izanami, so feel free to pick up the social links abilities. Izanagi, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing on normal difficulty, so I don't think I'll have, like... I'm not too scared of, like, actually skilling myself into a corner here. This guy looks cool. I picked him up in this dungeon, I think. I think he's in tiny skill. This is pretty good. But we can... I kind of want to keep this, but... Oh, I picked up this guy, but I don't even know, dude. Sure. I'm not gonna lie, 90% of my Persona picks at this point are just by how cool they look. That's it. More importantly, choose how you get... I mean, I'm almost at max level for Yumi. But then other than that, I don't know. Ah, I wanna go home. Ha! Stupid! Who are we gonna romance? We can just do Yumi, I guess. She's kinda cute. I wanna run away. It's the most important part. You can choose if you romance them or just keep them as a friend. Just freaking keep them as a pet. The friend zone. Absolutely amazing. Ooh, sword drop. What was that sound? I'm not sure yet. I quite like spending time. When we had like the stuff we spent time with Chie was fun. But yeah. Yeah, thanks Jacob. Take care. Enjoy. Spooky sounds. No one spoiled the sound. Oh gosh. Mari is a bonus one. You can romance her and still romance a normal girl. Oh yeah, I should definitely finish Mari's quest as well. But I haven't seen her around. She's never been like... Yeah, she's just kind of gone. Like I always go looking for her, but I haven't seen her quest in a long time. I think these guys are just normal for Butsuri Teki, so we're gonna do a little bit of Butsuri. Butsuri. Butsuri, 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 Butsuri. You missed! Nice. Now mess him up! Da, 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 da. Not so high. Wait, he's still alive? The frick? What a Giga Chad. What a Chad. Shuffle time. Okay, 2 more. What is this? Keikenchi, Hanmetsu. Persona ni henka. I don't really care about persona ni henka, but I guess we'll do this. During the day when you're not actively in an investigation. Oh yeah, that makes sense because I was in an investigation for the last like few times we played, so yeah. I understand. Oh, what the hell? Hey yo! Rakshasa. Rakshasa. I mean, we gotta get this one, eh? Kiru Rashu. That's the good one. And then, oh dude, this is like a Butsuriteki god. Sheesh. We'll get him. We'll get him. This is like the actual physical... Dude, he goes to the gym, that's all I'm gonna say. Or you missed a new golden content. I should be able to do it still. It's only like, what? It's only June or July. I think it's only June. I'll definitely do the quest of hers when I see her. I've already done like 5 or 6, I think, or maybe even more. Who are we gonna get rid of? Rid of. Who are we gonna get rid of? Maybe this one? Jionga. Ooh, is this 10 damage Jion? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. Mahajio. I mean, listen. Yeah, this is, you're gone. You're gone, sir. Goodbye. Goodbye. My wife. Mahajio. I hate the content log out of things that are Persona releases in Persona 5 Royal makes you miss out on massive new content if you don't rank up certain people before a deadline. It's a bit weird. It is a bit strange. How dare you dance, Kono Ryajume. I haven't tried Win, so who knows? Maybe. But no, just normal. Well, I mean, never gone wrong with just good old physical damage, right? It's a lot. Some people got the vanilla ending and thought that was it. Well. If it isn't my old friend. The normal ending. Please! Dude, the amount of time you have to wait for this to actually show whether it's effective or not. Okay, so it's not yummy. Try and remember. Not dark. Burn it into your mind, Eve. Burn it into your mind. It's not yummy. I'm not gonna remember. I already know I'm not gonna remember. I mean, you might as well do like a big attack, eh? I'll take it. 1 hit. No? Okay. I mean, I guess you're dead. It must be light. If it's not yummy, it must be, if it's not Mudo, it must be Hama? Is it Hama? I think it's Hama, right? Oh, look at that. Persona ni henka. Skill level up. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And I guess we'll do this. Persona up. Sure. So, yes. Narcissus no. Oh, so this is Kasai Taisei. Kasai Mukou ni henka shita. Oh, sick. That's actually interesting. So, my Narcissus has gone from having resistance against fire to complete nullification. It's pretty cool. I have a friend that played 4G Gold twice and missed half the social links because he didn't know that could take jobs. Bro, like, I've been neglecting my job. I need to get a different job. I've done the translation job, but it's just so nice because you don't have to pay attention to what weekday it is. You just do it when you get home. I like it. What's that? It's like like kori. Kori is hyo, so it's kakuhyo or something. Kakuhyo. なんでしょう各票ブルタカパブルタカパあ、ここかまっすぐに進みましょう Money, but there's a few those early ones are great, but there's a few that activate social links. Okay, wait, let me know, okay? But when it comes to picking a new part-time job, I need your help, Darkus. I need your help. Let me know on Discord or something, or even if it like happens during the shit. What happens during the thing? Ah, they always turn around so quickly. Is that gonna be effective? No. Why did they do that? Why did you do that? Oh, Hiyori. Sick. Sick. You have just made your own destruction a possibility. To me, fairly wary of spoilers. What's the worst time you got spoiled? Ever hurry watch Red plays that? No, I don't care. I don't care. I just know that people go crazy, so I don't want to ruin it for other people. I don't give a shit. I've never in my life experienced it where a spoiler ruined something for me. That's never happened. I've gotten spoiled, but usually it's like, oh, I got spoiled. Okay, I'll still enjoy it. So I don't personally care. I just understand how important it is to other people. So I try and be careful around it because I am a responsible and emotionally mature adult. So I understand that not everyone feels the way I do. So there you go. Do you think you'll ever do any videos about learning German? Hell no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint, but I have no idea how to teach anyone German. I speak German as a native language, but I have no idea how I would teach it to anyone. I've never had to learn German, and I have no experience teaching or learning German. So no, I don't think I will. I'm sorry. You'll have to go to someone else for that. Assistant daycare caretaker, hospital janitor, and tutor are the 3 that you'll need to do for new social links. I'll keep that in mind. Daycare. Oh, the daycare one I can already do. I did that like twice. Oh, yeah, because there's the mom and the girl, I think, right? The mom. And then janitor, I think I saw, but I never took it. And tutor, I also don't know if I saw it. Usually spoiler marks me wonder, how did they get to that point and want to watch? Yeah. But not everyone feels that way. Some people genuinely will not like engage with a thing that they've been spoiled for. So and like that's fine, you know. To each their own, like the way that they feel about that. That's okay. Kolkanas, okay. I don't feel that way, and you don't feel that way clearly. But some people really do, and I feel it's unfair to just like treat everyone the same way that you feel about it when it is to their detriment. You know. That's why I try and like be careful about it. It's really easy not to spoil people. Like you don't have to. It's not like a huge detriment to myself to not spoil. And I mean, I could still do it. I could be like, careful, spoiler warning, and then we still do it. But yeah, just try and avoid it. Fire. Okay. Fire. I'm so dirty from my stupid cat, dude. There's just like dirt everywhere. Jesus Christ. Spoilers and spoilers. Some people, yeah, there's spoilers and spoilers, which is also why I kind of. Oh, this would have been good. Wait, teki zentai ni. Oh, teki, huh? Okay, interesting. That's why earlier, at first, I was like, whoa, spoiler. And then I was like, I guess it's not a huge spoiler. So I was like, I guess it's fine. Can I do this? That'd be good. Oh, very, very nice. Very nice. Total miss. Yes. Oh, yeah, also Darkus, by the way, we're not talking about Persona at all. I don't like getting gameplay tips. I think it's totally fine. When you're like, hey, you should maybe do this, it's gonna be important. That's fine. We were more talking about Komi-san earlier, I think. The other thing where I said like, whoa, that's a spoiler. But yeah, the gameplay stuff was like Hikari. Nice. Well, if that isn't poggers, it's very good. Batman dies at the end. Oh no. I'll never forgive you. Batman. No one knows what it's like to be the Batman, be the sad man behind blue eyes. But my dreams, they aren't as empty as my conscience seems to be. And then there's a guitar solo, right? If I remember correctly. Or maybe there's another verse, I'm not sure. There is a guitar solo that starts playing at some point there. Thought you were a native English speaker. I take that as a compliment, but I'm not. I'm a native German speaker. When you see Dutch, is it understand? I don't see a lot of Dutch. But begrypjeme, that means do you understand me? So yes, sometimes it's quite easy, and then sometimes there's a word in there that I have no idea. But yeah, Batman actually kills. Damn. どこかから声が。皆さんこんばんは、リセッチーです。みんないつも見てくれてどうもありがとう。What's her voice like? The voice actor is kind of like a little bit nasally, I think. 面倒なものも我慢するのもリセオには無理、嫌い、しんどすぎ。クマもこの場所しんどすぎ、もうクラクラしてきた。確かにね。So she was like, I don't want to hold back anymore. It's all too annoying. It sucks. I'm done with it. I'm done holding back. And Kua was like, me too. Based. Same. Just like me, for real is what he said. Take my word for it. No, he was just like, I'm also sick and tired of this place. I'm sick and tired of it. Well, I'm sick and tired of it. How did you learn English so well? There's going to be like a really boring answer, but like YouTube videos. Unironically, when I was around, I grew up monolingual. I grew up speaking German only until I was about 10 years old. I didn't know any English. I never heard it. I don't have any relatives that speak English. No one spoke it in my surrounding area. I basically didn't know it existed, okay? And then I just suddenly, as I got more interested in watching like different YouTube videos and different TV shows when I was around 10, I suddenly noticed, and also playing games, by the way, I suddenly noticed like, oh, well, shit. The original language of all of these things actually isn't German. It's actually English. And there was I was starting to get recommended YouTube videos that were English, and I was like, well, this seems interesting. I don't know what they're saying, but it seems interesting. And I started to do it more and more. I started watching TV shows with subtitles at first, and because it's like around that age, you know, like around 10, I absorbed it really quickly, and I just kept going. I would listen to like hours and hours of English every day, and that's just how I learned. People often think that to get a good pronunciation of English, you need to speak a lot. I don't think that's true. I think you need to listen a lot, and you need to listen very carefully. And you need to be really strict with yourself. You need to be like, well, when I listen to English, what does it sound like to me? When I listen to myself, do I sound the same? And then where it doesn't match, you improve, right? You're like, well, that's not how they say it. They say it like this. I should say it like this. So that's how I think I got pretty decent in terms of pronunciation, because I was very strict with myself. I was like, well, clearly I'm saying this wrong, so I need to change it. I need to like be more, because I listen to so much English, I had a very good idea of what proper English sounds like. So I just imitate that. And I think to be able to imitate native English, to sound native, you need to hear it for thousands of hours, and then you'll have like a good frame of reference. Then you can adjust yourself to what you hear. Okay, we can do Mahabuhu. It's the same for any language. Americans often say that German speaks better English than I do. We often fail English classes by Germans who use English stuff at high level stuff engineering. Yes, but Germans suck at English pronunciation, I'll say it. Oh, also, I say I'm not actually German. I speak German. German is my native language, but I'm Swiss. Just to, not that it matters that much. Like I don't care that much, but just to be clear, I'm not actually German as a nationality. I'm Swiss. But I grew up German, so yeah. I actually grew up with a dialect of German, not the same German that people in Germany speak. British people just pronounce words differently, yeah. So you know Hochdeutsch and Schweizerdeutsch. Natürlich! Ja, natürlich! It's like the meme, right? Whenever you meet a Swiss person as a German, they want you to pronounce the word Kuchikästli, and then they're like Kuchikästli, and then you laugh at them. You all collectively get together to laugh at them. That's very traditional. We do that here, you know. We bully German people like that, and then they bully us because our politicians sound like ass when they get on TV, and they're like, natürlich wollen wir sicherstellen, dass für alle von uns eine allgemeingültige Gleichheit gilt, und dafür werden wir uns natürlich auch einsetzen, oder? That's how they sound on TV. So we all get to make fun of each other. We have a good relationship, okay? Where we all make fun of each other for how we suck. It's great. What do I do now? Just attack. Just attack. Just go for the attack. It's really hard that Americans and British... Oh yeah, I already read that. I will say I'm really bad at doing a British accent. I never tried to learn it. I was very happy having what I would say is like a neutral accent. A neutral American accent is what I've always tried to go for, as neutral as possible. But I'm not very good at doing accents for English. Keiko, no. Still true that Deutsch is spoken mostly by older people. Hochdeutsch. No, Hochdeutsch is spoken by everyone. It's just, we need to learn it at school, right? It's what our TV is in. It's standard German. It's like, if you know in England, right? They have received pronunciation. It's what would be used on the BBC, right? So they were talking a very specific, very clear way on the BBC, and it's nothing like someone from like Birmingham or whatever would sound, right? It's the same for German. Like there is Hochdeutsch, which aligns with a specific area of Germany more or less, but it's the standard. It's Hyojungo. In Japan, it would be Hyojungo. Hyojungo is like kind of Tokyo Japan, Tokyo Japanese. It's the standard language. It's what's regulated by the government more or less. I think German is pretty regulated. I think the German government has like some control over what is considered standard and non-standard German. Same for Japan. English actually is a bit of an exception because as far as I know, there is no one authority about what is English. There's places like the Oxford English Dictionary, but they can really only change their own dictionary. It's not like they can change what is considered English and what isn't, right? But yeah. So yeah, everyone knows Hochdeutsch. Everyone should know it. Like, you hear it on TV, and it's what most of the TV is in. It's what the movies will get dubbed into and all that, right? And then when foreigners come and they try to learn German, that's what they would learn, and then that's how we would speak to them to make it easier for them. Because German dialects can be quite different. Even just within Switzerland, it's quite different. Danny GL, breaker. Come to Birmingham. British accent is you and every American. Anyone who learns more than one accent is better than native. Norwegian is actually 2 languages, and there's a government body that regulates changes to those languages and used to cause lots of drama. I think I've heard about that. Yeah, there's always that's like a big I think it's a big talking point for anti-prescriptionists, right? I mean, too late to stream. What did I miss? You missed all the JLPT talk, basically. I don't want these. I'm just gonna get them, whatever. I don't want these cards. Look at this. They're so lame. So lame. I didn't even check the skills. I don't even care what skills you have. You're too lame to be in my team. I'm sorry. Dude, what a beast. 25 strength. Hell yeah. Oh, small. 気づかないままでねえんだ。Where's Gio? Wait, did I miss it? No. Wait, I must have missed it. Wait, 1 second. Wait, it's not Gio. Wait, what am I looking for? Diarama. Media. No, wait, that's not what I'm looking for. Wait, what the fuck? Where's the healing spell? Am I crazy? Gia. I'm looking for Gia. I'm completely missing it, though. Shouldn't I have a Gia, or did I get rid of it? Ooh, I must have gotten rid of it. Oops. I guess I got rid of it. Whatever. It's like Google, okay? Sometimes we let people go. It happens. We let skills go. We were trying to merge the languages by gradually making them more similar to each other, but it pissed off people every time. Yeah, I can imagine. Yikers! Wait, what? I thought... I don't even know what is happening, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, good one. Whole Wikipedia page on it. I'm not surprised. Oh, because I had the first attack, actually. Sick. Alright, so these guys are, what? I feel like I should know what they're weak against, but okay. So these ones, I have no idea, huh? Okay. Well, what are we gonna do? When you use your funny voice, you sound like PewDiePie. Didn't you say that last time? That's, I see. I see. What is my funny voice? What's the funny voice? 12 years dungeon! Okay, they're down. Oh wait, they're actually weak against fire. Based. Well, we're gonna do it again. And then you do it again. Okay, that's 1 down. Still need to figure out that these guys are weak against Snot Putsuri, so Kanji is kind of at a disadvantage, but we'll go with Mahajio and see what happens. Probably nothing! Probably nothing's gonna happen. I wish I could do like a perfect Irish accent or a Scottish accent. When I do Scottish accent, all I can do is like try and imitate characters from movies. You know Gobber, the guy from How to Train Your Dragon, where it's like, he's like, trolls do exist. They steal your socks, but only the left ones. That's all I can do. Or when I want to do like a really high, when I would do a really fancy British accent, I'll just try my best to sound as much as Stephen Fry as I can. That's about it. That's about all we got. That's about all we got. Monster Run, I have to say, is really goddamn good. I have to read the manga after this, right? I've heard so many good things about Monster. I should probably watch it at some point. Keikenshi Hametsu, Persona up. I mean, we should just get this, right? And then we'll get more luck, and then we'll get Ma up, and that's it. Get those stats leveled up. I wanted to edit more videos today, but I didn't get around to do it. I've been editing some Cyberpunk footage just to see if there's a video in there. We'll see. We'll see. Might not be, but you know. Oh shoot. Yes. DaVinci now on iPad too. Is that a drawing software? It's not gonna do much. These guys are weak against Geo, right? No, they're not. They're weak against... Well, I could try Hikari. Hikari... The one you use. Oh, DaVinci Resolve. Oops. I don't use DaVinci, actually. I've been using Premiere. But I have used DaVinci in the past, so yes, I should have recognized it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I said MPV video player on my PC is pretty bomb. I like the minimalist approach to it. MPV is good, yeah. I like MPV too. I used it for a good while. I should install it again. I mean, I'm still... this PC is still pretty new. I reinstalled Windows on it just in October, so there's still some stuff that I don't have on it. Okay, I'm gonna try Principality. And I'm gonna try and use Mahamma. And we'll just hope for the best. Okay, they are actually weak against it though. Oh, never mind. Well, at least they... I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. Okay, now we gotta try and, like, delete this guy. Zentai HP. This doesn't help us. None of this helps. None of this is helpful to me. Okay, I mean, these guys are just normal duders, so I'm gonna just punch them, I guess. Alright. I'll try my best to kill this guy, but it's gonna be tough. 攻撃上がった。上がったんか。防御。I'm gonna get rid of his defenses. Critical Ritsu. I could do critical chance, but I also want to do enough damage. Because sometimes I focus too much on buffing and then they just get away in the time that I view. Jesus Christ, that was a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Okay, with his defenses lowered, we'll see that this does a little bit more damage. Okay, miss. Good. I'm sure in late game there will be like buffs where like every person gets their stuff buffed, right? Or something. Must be. Oh, okay, we got him. Should be, don't they? Yes, okay. These guys give like a lot of gold, if I remember correctly. Well, just go with like a key. Yes, lots of stuff. Golden XP, good. Okay, good. Dude, only now do I have just about as much health as that one attack dealt damage back like an hour ago. We just now made it. Yami kara no seikan. So return from darkness. What does it do? 無度系スキルを受けた際に半分の確率で HP1 になって生き返る、生き残る。Is that really that useful? That sounds so specific. I don't know if I'll ever use this. Chat, help! Spells that get everyone buffs, debuffs elements. Chat, help! Help! This sounds so specific. It says that if you get hit by a Mudo, which is dark, if you get hit by a darkness type attack, there is a 1 out of 2 chance that instead of dying, you will come back with 1 HP. Like, I'm sorry. At that point, I'd rather just reload. I'd rather just like reload the game. I'll start over. Like, only 1/2. Yeah, this seems so specific. Hey, Volare. It's weak against dark. Yeah, but still. We don't need it. Like, when would I ever use this? I guess, like, you could use it if you have, like, a specific boss fight. Maybe. But it seems so specific. I feel like I'd be better off just keeping the other spells. Because Principality that I have right now actually has a lot of useful spells. Like, a lot of good buffs. And also having Mahamma is really good. Okay, these guys are fire, I think. Oh, no, ice. Ice, baby. Dun 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 dun. Boom, 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 boom. We didn't hear. We'll just buff Chie, and then she'll mess him up. There we go, Mahabufu. Mess him up. Mudo Rush. I don't know. Does it work once per person? Find an item called Homunculus, which will get hit by Hama Mudo, dies for you automatically. Wait, sorry, I need to read that again. You can find an item called Homunculus, which if you get hit by Hama or Mudo, dies for you. Oh, it dies for you, so it's like I understand. Okay, Homunculus. That works better. I understand. It's like the thing that you get in Minecraft, the golden thing that instead of you dying, you'll lose it from your inventory. I understand. Yeah, we just leveled up Principality even more. Sick. And we learn Tetraja. Interesting. 味方一体に即死攻撃を1回防御するバリアを張る。This just seems like a much better version of what I just got. So like before we had, oh, you have a 50% chance of coming back with 1% health from Mudo, or from, Mudo it was, I think. But now it says, any instant death ability, you get a shield that will block it. So that just seems way better. So this one I'm considering, because if we have like a boss that uses these attacks, it might be really good. We can figure out the pattern. I quite like this, I quite like this. Hikari Zokusei Sokushi, I mean, that's really good. Median. We can get rid of this. Mahaji I want to keep, Geo I want to keep. Million Shoot. 物理的ダメージ、小ダメージ2回。And Hama. I'm considering getting rid of Media or Million Shoot, but having a physical is always nice. So we're going to get rid of this because Yukiko already has this one, I think. Oh damn, dude. Philippe didn't remind me. Megami, yes. Megami da. Megami-sama. Hi. Okay, good. Okay. All right, what else? Come out, wherever you are. Yes. Is this an advantage? Must be, right? I hate this combination. No, wrong enemy. I didn't want to. It's the wrong one. That's the wrong enemy. That's the wrong enemy. Wrong enemy. Wrong enemy. I want to attack this guy. Darn it. That's what I wanted to do. Goodbye. Goodbye. It's this one, huh? You know, might as well use your turn to heal Chie because she's about to die. She's about to die. You have Mahajio, right? You do, but I don't have I just don't have what it takes, literally. Snafusoru. 50. Oh, shoot. Soul Food. Oh, sick. Okay. Don't I still have Puchisoru Tomato とか? Puchisoru. Oh, that's 20. Okay. Well, we should use them, though. Even if it's just 20. I mean, you know, it's better than nothing. Wait, what did I just use? Did I just use the wrong thing? Oh, gosh. I am actually stupid. Okay. Well. Well. Shoot. I think I just used the wrong item. Machigatta. Not good. Not good. Not good. This is what I wanted to use. There we go. I legit just used the wrong item, dude. I'm so stupid. Does Kuma say a lot of puns in this one? I don't feel it's the case. There is quite a few puns, but it's harder to find puns with Kuma in Japanese. So what they do instead... Kanji is electric damage? I don't think so, but am I wrong? I might be wrong. Whoops! If he does, then big whoops. He mostly just ends his sentence with Kuma. You know, he barely does. Can I just please end this round? I'm losing my mind! I hate it. I hate it so much. Please, set me free. Wait, so let's see. Kanji. He does. He does! I'm silly. Well, he has so much SP left, so we should just use it. Jionga. So stupid, because this guy's like 4 health, but whatever. Yeah, there we go. Good job. Good job, guys. I'm so proud of this community. 劣感の Magatama? Is it? No, it's not Magatama. How you read this? It's not Magatama. Something else. Something Tama. This is like... It's not Hiroi. Oh, no, never mind. No, it's not Hiroi. Shoot. What is this kanji? Is there... He barely does. He did just say that, yeah. Shoot me! What is this? Shuzen Duzen. It's 2, which is this one. There we go. And then there's 2 more. So it's 4. This. I should know this. I should know what this is, but I can't think of it. Cold. It's called Magatama. Oh, it is Magatama. I was right, but I was too stupid to recognize that I was right. Don't be like me. Don't be like me, chat. When you're right, you need to understand that you're right. That's very important. But what do I know this kanji for otherwise? Is this like in Kozang? No, not really. What is it in? Koryu detention pending. Do you think Yosuke is homophobic? That's a good... I don't think... That's a good question. I think he might be a little bit. I think he is homophobic in the same way that probably most of us were when we were in high school. I think the game doesn't have a good... I think the game doesn't represent gay people in a very good way. But and Yosuke is probably part of that. It could be done better for sure. I don't know if I think it's like a huge issue. Not for me, probably. I'm also not gay. But there's probably some video essayist out there that has had a field day with it. But okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's great. I think it's a little bit weird, the way they do it. Like, they just go like 110% with Yosuke being like really grossed out by it, which makes me think like, okay, dude, like calm down. But then again, like when I was in high school, I think we were like that too. because we were boys and I was like 12 or I was 15 or whatever, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. There's definitely better ways to do it. That's for sure. I'll say that. 先生、大丈夫か？今日はもう、やめにしないか？クマ、かなりクラクラしてきた。あれ？こんなとこまで来るなんて、リセのファンの人？ Yeah, we're your fans. マジ、リセチ、超嬉しい。超 is a good one. You know what? 超 just means like super, mega, or like wow, a lot. Okay, so you'll see it in slang. They keep adding it in front of stuff, and it just means very. It's just like super, ultra, hyper, extreme. All of those things at once. 超嬉しい。すごく怒ってるの。That's different. That's just Emilia. The tenth scene at the end of Yosuke's gay jokes to work kanji. Yeah, it's just they don't handle it very well. Like, because like I don't think. Here's the issue. I don't think the creators. I think the creators of the game think that the stuff that Yosuke says is really funny. That's the issue. That's the issue that I have with it. Is that I think the creators of the game probably think that it's really funny to make fun of kanji being kind of gay. That's the issue that I have with it. And I feel like you can kind of tell a little bit. It's like, okay. せっかく来てくれたんだから特別にサービスしちゃおうかな。Well, you came all this way. でもここじゃダメ。We can't do it here. リセチーニャ、あなたの頑張りをもうちょっと見せてほしいな。So she wants to reward us, but we need to do a little bit more. 待ってるからね。先生、もうちょっとだけ頑張ってみるぞ。ご褒美が欲しいだけだ。I'm kind of dying. There's a gay romance with Yosuke in the files. Mods can restore it. Likely caused it. Wouldn't make any sense to his homo jokes. They likely removed it. Yeah, that's probably... Like, if there was like some repressed stuff there, they should have done it, like written in a different way for it to be more believable. But yeah. It was enough for localizers to finally snap and change the scene completely. That's just very sad to hear. It's just very unfortunate. Because there could be like so much many more like interesting things you could do with that topic, but I guess not. I guess we just are not gonna do that then. It's a bit unfortunate. It's like for me, it wouldn't be like, also because I'm not gay, it's not like it's not like as big of a deal to me. So it's not like gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna play the game because of that. But I will point it out. I'll critique it when it happens. I'm like, well, this is dumb. I don't like this. Even if I'm not personally offended by it, I'll be like, well, this is handled really poorly, and I don't like how it's done. These guys are gross. Big tongue. Big. P3 didn't like that. Weird. Okay, my cat is just staring at me. I'm sorry. I need to go give him... give him some food, okay? Because my cat is like staring at me like... Me hungry, meow. That's what he's saying, okay? That's what I can... The food stare, exactly. I'll be right back. Enjoy the music, I guess. Alright. Alright. I'm back. P2! Me too. The P2 movement. Wonderful sea change, P6. Million years. Stare food. Maybe. People nuts, preach, emails, please. It would be awesome. In the Twitch chat, or which chat do you mean? Discord? Or do you mean the better TTV or whatever? I'll look into it, okay? Twitch chat? Okay. Message me on Discord. That's so, like, if you ping me on Discord or something, I'll probably remember. I never remember what people say here. I'm always like, oh, I'll look into that. And then I end the stream and my mind just goes away from streaming topics and then I just don't remember. So it's probably easiest to just ping me on Discord so that I have like some record outside that's like permanent. Because after I close the stream, Twitch chat just kind of goes away, so I can't look it up again. I guess you can also send me an email at contact@gamegrammar.com because that email actually works. I set it up if you want. If anyone wants to send an email to Game Grammar, you can do that. Contact@gamegrammar.com. I'm gonna try and read it. I mean, I can access it. It's not that hard, but I just need to remember to. Okay, they're weak against fire, which I don't have. These other guys, I don't know. Ping me on Discord. Yeah, go ahead. That's good. Oh, sick. So we need to do fire. Fire. Okay, well, not bad, huh? Very good, very good. Use that because it just uses health. Man, I should have just left the dungeon because I'm almost gone with everything. Except for Kanji, everyone has kind of used up their SP. I wish I could like transfer SP between people. That'd be sick. Tomoe, Shippugiri or something like that. Shippu-san maybe. Sounds kind of cool. Shippuzang. Oh, ooh, ho, yo! 敵全体に物理属性で中ダメージを。So medium physical damage to all enemies. Wild. I want to keep this.氷結属性. Oh, this is actually sick. Why don't I never use this? Oops. Counter. Man, all these are pretty good. 味方の攻撃力. Oh shit. Damn, dude. These are all sick. I don't even know. I want to keep this because I don't have a copy of it. I could get rid of Buhu, but it's kind of nice to have single target damage. Yo, all of these are good. 10% の確率で反射する. 10%? Is that worth it? 1 out of 10? How many times do I even get to 10 attacks? I'm just thinking logically, like, when's the last time I had a fight where one person was attacked 10 times before the fight was over? And that's, like, statistically, that would have only done it, like, once. What does Abare Makuri do? Abare Makuri is, oh, I should replace, I don't know. Abare Makuri can do small damage to all enemies physical 1 to 3 times, and this is medium damage, but only once. But I think on average, this would replace it and still do more damage, huh? Maybe we should do that. I guess it happens a lot in boss fights. Yeah, maybe. Then I think we should replace this because I'm assuming that 1 up to 3 small damage is still less on average than once, but medium. What's the math work out through there? I don't know, but I'm assuming it's less. I don't know. What do you think? Should I replace Abare Makuri? Because it does the same thing. It's just I don't know which one does more damage. How much small damage equates to medium damage? Is it times 2? Probably not, right? Or maybe it's times 2? Does anyone know? I actually don't know. Refuse to tell you the math. Yeah, it's really annoying because I can't really make an informed decision here. I'm a game, and I refuse to tell you anything about myself. I'm sorry. I don't even know what that was. It's something. I'm a game, I'm a game. I am a game. It's hard to judge, but I feel like his ability comes later and the skill just should be better, right? You think that, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. 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 I don't. Okay. Sorry, I was just checking something here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There we go. That's what I expected. Oh shoot! Wait. I think if you're an adult played this, you're probably obvious that Yosuke is a moron anyway. That's true. Why did that not show up? And why is this chat so behind? I'm so confused. By the way, okay, I'm still like I'm using Restream and it's redirecting like my YouTube chat to another thing, but it doesn't pick up on the messages that YouTube blocks automatically. I don't know why it does that. I need to like check my settings or something, because this message by Matthew is not even problematic. Like, it's fine. It just says it's just a normal message. I don't know why YouTube chose to block it. Maybe I'll try and pop out this chat and also have it somewhere. Just so. Hey, thanks for following, both of you. Kaze and the Shadow Slayer of Legends. What a name, dude. Straight from the 2010 Xbox Live days. Love it. So maybe we'll do something like this, where I can still have the chat, kinda. All right. It'll do. It'll do. All right. Yeah, there we go. That also doesn't super YouTube exclusive emo. Also doesn't super supper. What? I have the rule of thumb that more HP could because I'm the first time chatter. Maybe that's true, Matthew. That's true. Oh, support. I can't type. Stronger. Okay, listen. We're gonna replace it. It's fine. It should be fine. 多分大丈夫. 多分大丈夫. Have you ever noticed that when Japanese people speak English, they translate 多分 as what do they say? There's one word they always say. Maybe, I think. They translate 多分 to maybe. That's fine. But because in Japanese you often start a sentence with 多分, they will often start sentences with maybe. There's something I've noticed is because in Japanese you can say 多分大丈夫, but in English they will say maybe it will be okay. No, actually that's fine. But what is like a thing where it doesn't work? I don't know. Now I can't think of anything. But anyways, I've just noticed that sometimes the usage of maybe isn't quite right. Now I look like an idiot because I can't make an example. Well, whatever. You'll just have to take my word for it, okay? Just something I've noticed is that sometimes usage of maybe isn't quite right because the 多分 isn't exactly the same as maybe. Let's do this. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. This attack is so good. Okay, you don't have a heal. You have stuff, but you don't have a heal. You have Bufu though, so that's good. You're gone. Goodbye. I'll also I'll be enabling the YouTube memberships at some point soon too. So if you want to support me through membership, you can do that in the future. And then I also need to, I think right now super chats are actually turned off, but we'll look into it. Just need to figure all that out. Well, I think super chats were turned on in the past, but I don't know if they're off now. I don't know. I think the terms of service has changed, and I have to still like accept a bunch of stuff. For now, I just focused on setting it up so that everything works and the stream looks good and it's working and it's streaming and it's blah. I played the original PS2 version. Oh, nice. This is the PC version. So we can do half XP for 2 more. Yeah, sure. Okay, Persona tie up, defense up. We'll get a key and we'll get some recovery. That's good. Oh, the team attack is only in golden. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Arcana. What is it? Sesse or something? I keep forgetting. HP and SP. Good. I should really get out of here, but for now I'm still doing fine. For now we're somehow holding up with the resources I've got. So it's fine, I guess. Really puts the fine in finite. Okay, wait, should I leave? Should I go out? Because I feel like the next thing we do will be like a mini-boss. But do mini-bosses count as floors where I can restart from that floor? I don't remember. Shit. Butsuri. Okay, so this guy has reflection. Butsuri, I need to be careful. Quick save. I can quick save, but then I can't leave. I need to leave to recover and buy items and then fuse personas and all that. That's what I want to do. And then I need to be able to return to that floor, right? I don't mind, like, the quick save. I understand, like, I could do it if I wanted to end the stream. But I'm more talking about if I want to leave the dungeon and come back. These guys. Oh, gosh. I know nothing about these guys. I don't know anything about you. Yeah, I think you can go to the mini-boss floor and return there. Okay, so we'll try and get to the next floor. I don't know if it's a mini-boss, but I'm assuming because Lisa said, like, oh, you know, soon. Soon! Dude, this attack is so good. It's like 3 times 70 damage. It's like 200 damage plus. So good. Absolutely sick. And also it takes health points rather than SP, so I'm gonna do quite a few of these. Oh, you missed though. You missed. You missed, little boy. Okay, he will reflect fizz right now, so that's not good. From memory playing this last year. Okay, I'll take it. It's good enough for me. Memories from last year. We'll try Buku, but it's not gonna work, is it? Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work because he just used an ice attack, so he's probably strong against ice, but yeah. Kakikomi, Yomikomi. Oh yeah, I guess that's true, but Yomikomi. Sorry, I'm answering like a stupid, like something on Discord. You guys have no idea what I'm saying right now. Sorry, I got distracted. Oh, he actually absorbs it too. Well, surely he'll be weak against fire, right? Makes sense. Yeah, HP cost is really high right now, but I still I would rather just save a little bit of SP right here. Oh, reflect. Oops. Well, frick, Geo, I guess. Kanji's attacks actually do a lot of damage. Magic up. What do we go for? Skill card, encounter 回避, or ma up? I'm gonna go magic up. Why not? How do you read this again? Gosatsu or something? Actually, let me look this up. I don't remember this one. It's a difficult. This is like Go, I think, right? Go. There it is. Yeah. Go. And then the other one is could be Satsu, could be something else. Ki. Go ki. Fortune. Fortitude, firmness of character. Yes. Truly the firmest, only the firmest of characters in this game. Goki. Goki desu. Goki no yatsume. Right? It's good. Sawayaka na. Oh, this is Asayaka, I think. Asayaka na Tomegane. It's the Go in Goichi, only place I remember from. Yeah, isn't it also isn't there yeah, there's Gotetsu. I know from oh, never mind, it's not Gotetsu. What do I know it from then? I know it from something. It's in something. I thought it was Gotetsu, but it might be Kotetsu that I'm thinking about. Kotetsu is the thing for sure, if Go isn't. There's Kongo. Go. There's not. Oh, there's a few words. Never mind. Kyogo, Goryoku. Yeah, I don't know. Gotan, Goyu. Go no mono. Gojobo. Gojobari. Oh. Gojobari. Gojobari. That's so weird to have a sokuon after a choon like this. Gojobari. Weird. That is weird. Okay, that is weird. I've never seen... I don't know if I've ever seen an elongated vowel followed by a small tsu. So weird. Usually, well, I guess it's fine, but like, just seems unfamiliar to me as a thing. But I guess it should be, yeah, it should be kind of common, I guess. I don't know. That just sounds weird. That seems weird to me, but okay. Well, there you go. There it is. And then 鎮静の花束 quiet flower thing. I also should heal myself. Yukiko. Yukiko, Yukiko, Yukiko. Whoa, Yukiko, Yukiko. Why is it enemy advantage? I hate the guy. I hate that mechanic so much. I just can never tell. I clearly hit him with me sword. With me sword. What else do you want me to do? Kainga. Did you study pickaxe in Japanese? When I focus on it, I try and get it right. You might have seen that it's also in the dictionary that I use displays it. So I try to, when I look up words, I always check pitch. I'm always checking whether I'm doing it right or I'm doing it wrong. Try to like correct mistakes. But I don't super focus on it. And I don't super tell people that they should focus on it. But I talk about it quite a bit. Where I'm like, oh, that by the way, there's pitch accent. This is how it works. This is where you can look up what the pitch of a word is. Like this would be like heiban, right? So gojo. And then you have other ones. This would be atamadaka, so it would be goki, right? Goken. Yeah, whatever. I try to do it right when I can, but it's not like a huge thing for me. It's not like I put a lot of time into studying it specifically. Just pay attention to it when it shows up, and then I'll try and get things right. But what else? Fire. I don't have fire. We don't got that fire, ma'am. I'm sorry. They'll just have to endure another lightning strike, I think. Oh. He angered himself. Yeah, well, we'll try this, I guess. Enemy advantage. Use it to annoy their bird. Bro, the enemy advantage stuff. Good job, Kanji. Ii kanji da. Dude, he doesn't get a new skill for so long. Level 34 until he gets the next skill. When frickin' Chie just got 2 in a row. Yeah, it's a shadow. Good job. What did you expect? A frickin' donut stand? Well... Just normal, huh? Let's see what physical will do. Resist, of course. It's resist, of course. What about fire? Big yikes. Oh gosh, should have done something else, I guess. Well, we know that Geo is at least like normal, so we'll do it again. And then you do it again. Well, we can try Hama, see what happens. I should have tried it on the other one, but whatever. Yeah, thought so. Booh! Booh! Oh my god, stop! Ah, I'm gonna die. This game, dude, this game. This game is too much. This game is just too much. Monk ass. Monk fruit. This game. Oh my god, this game! No! Stop, please. Why? Monk, what's monk? Stop! Why dost thou torture me so? What is going on? You don't have any persona able to use Agi? I forgot what Agi is. Is it fire? I probably do. I didn't think of switching personas. Sometimes I forget that I can. Out of all the things, you had to give me that. Tactical retreat? Yeah, probably. Maharagi, where is it? There. Oh dear. Yeah, you said you can say that again. Yeah, do what you can, I guess. I mean, we're gonna run away next round anyway, so whatever. Now I feel just stupid for running away because I feel like we can actually do this, but try and heal up for now. Can you escape? I already did. I'm already escaping basically. Yeah, see? Getting the hell out of here. Get the hell out of my face. Yeah, I know, Kanji. Shut up, okay? We all have it. We all are having a tough time here. There's no need to take the spotlight like this. Okay. Good job. Good job, everyone. I'm so proud of you. Get to the chopper. Oh, God. No. Streamlabs, sorry. No, don't worry. It's okay. I know the YouTube stream. I should keep that in mind. The YouTube stream is set to normal latency, which is like 20-30 seconds. But I learned how to change it today. I knew that there was a button for the latency, but I was in the wrong menu. I need to go to the scheduled stream and then open that, and then there, while it's running, I need before it starts. That's where I need to change it. I just I didn't figure it out. I just couldn't figure it out. All right, let's change personas. We've tried a lot, but we'll try something with Garu probably. Yeah, we should try something with Garu. Mahajio, Garu, Mahagaru. Sure. Come forth, Narcissus, or whatever your name is. Something like that. I think that's your name. I think that's who you are, but maybe, just maybe, it's not. But, that doesn't matter. Okay, now, I don't know, dude. These guys are just strong against everything, okay? What do you want from me? What do you want from me? What do you want from me? You probably want me to take, like, a soul drop or whatever. Snuff soul. Mudo? Question mark? You can swap Chie or you can go with Yusuke. That's true. I've been doing well with these guys. These boxes are just a royal pain in my ass, to be honest. Like, it's all good. It's these boxes freaking suck. That's all it is. These boxes are actual trash. Yeah, Yosuke. I don't know how to fight these. These are just, they're something, dude. They're something. Because they are strong against physical, and then they are strong. They aren't weak against any single element. So like, fuck. I'm just screwed. I'm just screwed. Yeah, I don't know. Who do I even buff? I feel since I'm starting fresh, how can I get used to Japanese acting styles? I tried from 2010, but it kind of seemed to violate my sensibilities. Is there any new anime that doesn't sound too anime that isn't like overly edgy? Let me think. Maybe something like... Maybe the more stylized shows. You could try something like Odd Taxi, which isn't very anime-like, I think. Well, the character designs isn't very anime, and I think the voicing is probably kind of... I haven't watched it, so I'm not sure about the acting style. It's a good question, the acting style. So, no slice of life, that's all out of the question, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I have no idea. Rakugo. Yeah, the Rakugo anime, maybe. Shirokuma Coffee. Yeah, maybe. You could try something like Shirobako, which has pretty non-over-the-top acting. It's very, like, real-lifey, I guess, I think, for the most part. I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna die. You need to try. Shirobako is so good. It's one of my favorite shows. I just really like how it describes like the whole process and like everyone in the team. Like it's really cool because it takes like a process, and it says like here are like the 25 to 30 people involved, and it takes its time to sort of introduce you to everyone that's important along the chain, and it shows kind of how everyone's kind of passionate about what they do. Like there's a whole episode about a guy that his whole thing is he just draws clouds and skies. That's his passion. Like he's really good at drawing clouds and skies, and he knows a lot about clouds, and like he really cares. Like people are like, well, if you want me to draw clouds for you, what type of clouds do you like? Do you want these clouds? And then he actually like, yeah, it's just cool because it kind of shows like, oh, there's this guy, his job it is to draw clouds, and he really like does it with passion, and that's cool. Like you see all the little Lego pieces sort of that it takes to form the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know, frick. I guess we're just gonna keep going with this. Gionga should do some damage. Yeah. Oh my god, no! Come on! And I died. Of course I died. Of course I died. Of course I died. Bro! Whatever you do, Commodore, don't play this game. It's actual bullshit. Just avoid this game at all costs. You can do anything other than just don't actually even like think about buying this game because it's like actual trash bullshit. Okay, I'm over it now. Cool. We're back. So stupid, dude. So dumb. And I was at full health. Actually stupid. Does he sound almost native Japanese? He sounds pretty near to... Bro, okay. I think we're done for today. I think we're pretty freaking done for today, okay? I don't think I need to do much more than this. I think this is quite enough. Thank you very much, Persona, for being the most fun game ever. Thank you. Oh my god, dude. So stupid. I don't even know it. Oh, I legit rage quit. I didn't even save. Whatever. I need to replay this. I don't care. I can replay this. It's only like an hour. But this is fine. Why are you cosplaying as Gordy LaForge? I don't know what that means. Matt is fine. I think Matt just says a bunch of spicy stuff. And if you take away... Matt is at his... Listen, Matt versus Japan is at his best when he isn't trying to sell you something, I think. So whenever he's not trying to sell you one of his courses or whatever, he's probably at his best. But when he is trying to sell you something, I don't know, take it with a grain of salt, I guess. There's a lot of like cult-like behavior sometimes around him where the people that kind of follow his method exactly, they're like, oh my gosh, this is like the only thing. This is the only way. It is the way. And like as long as you can kind of avoid that kind of toxic stuff, it's probably fine. Like everything he says is more or less true. But also, the stuff that he does say is also not like new, right? It's not like he invented it. He's like, guys, did you know that if you just do really good quality, high quality immersion, it actually works? And then everyone's like, wow, that's wild, dude. But yeah. Wasn't the guy who said you should avoid speaking with your non-Japanese speaking friends? I don't know, dude. Matt has said like a million wild things, okay? He has like so many hot takes. But if you just take the essence of what he says, right? And you put it in a centrifuge so that all the bullshit separates from the good advice. And then you distill that. Then everything he says is mostly true. And his methods are pretty good. And I think he has a really good video on setting up Anki. I don't know, though. I never really watched his content because, like, the thing is that back when I started learning Japanese and Matt's videos were recommended to me, and I watched some, and I was like, well, I'm already doing all that. Cool. You know, like, he was like, oh, guys, you should read stuff, and you should be really focused on immersion. And I was like, oh, I'm already doing that. So it's not really super interesting for me. And he was like, here's a guide on how to set up Anki with these super specific settings. And I was like, well, I don't really care I don't really want to do that. So, you know, good for you. But that's it. I have no hate towards Matt. I have watched way too few of his videos in full to even like critiquing properly. I've just heard a bunch of stuff, and yeah, never got a good impression from him. I've seen him be really elitist about stuff. Like, actually, I've the Discord server I'm on has logs where he came into like voice chat and stuff. He kind of insulted a bunch of, not really insult, but he was like really condescending, and it's kind of a red flag. But you know, it's that thing. I've seen many people actually fall into this issue where I feel like the line between being condescending and being really passionate can sometimes be a little bit blurry. So hear me out, right? When you are very passionate about a thing and you spend a lot of time doing that thing, whatever it is, then it can very quickly happen that when you talk to people who are way less passionate about than you are, that you end up sounding condescending because you take it much more serious than they do. And just the fact that you can tell that they aren't taking it as seriously can kind of like almost subconsciously offend you. So then you're like, no, listen, this is what you should do. If you don't do this, you're literally wasting your time and stuff like that. Like, saying these things, which are usually true, can quickly sound really condescending and really mean. I've seen it many times when I like look at people talk on Discord and stuff, where I'm like, okay, one person here feels really attacked, and the other person here is just kind of very passionate, and I think the person that feels really attacked thinks that this other guy's just being a jerk. But actually, I don't think that's what they're going for. It just comes across that way. It can happen. I love how he talked down about Japanese from Zero method, or was that somebody else? Maybe that person stems from the way he copes with trauma. That's going a bit far. I don't do armchair psychology. I don't diagnose people here about what trauma they have and what trauma they don't have. I will say, though, that I don't think the Japanese from Zero books are like a very good way to start learning. But heck, hasn't even George, the author of the books, said that maybe if he were to do like the first few books again, he would do it a little bit differently? I feel like I've heard him say that. I think the Japanese from Zero books are an example of going a little bit too slow. Like it's you know, like it's a little bit too beginner friendly almost, to the point where you know, I feel like you could do it in a more concise way. But I actually really like, I actually watched a bunch of the YouTube videos from Japanese from Zero, and where he like goes through the book in a video form. And because I quite like being, I quite like absorbing knowledge by being told, like through my hearing, by listening to people. I think that was quite cool, because then not only do you have like what he shows in the book, but he also adds his own knowledge to it. By the way, Raidenex Rising, thanks for following. I didn't see that at first there, but yeah. So that's quite cool. And when he does his little like videos and stuff, and yeah, that's quite good. Been using a lot of Matt's resources, and I found it helpful, but I definitely don't disparage anyone from using their own approach. Yeah, it's like I said, like a lot of the stuff that Matt has put out there is actually, you know, fairly good, and it's based on like, I was about to say it's based on real science, but it sounds so cringe, doesn't it? But it's well backed up. It's like study methods that have proven to work. It's language learning methods that are proven to work. Well, I say the community, but what I mean is the community. I think that has been talked down by lots of people, because that's just how Japanese learning community is. No, that's not true. The game grammar community is spotless. No one ever talked down to us, because they don't know we exist yet. But in 2023, they will know, because we're the rising star now. Just you wait. That's the plan anyway. If you look at politically stubborn people, I mean really politically stubborn people, it stems from whatever violates their beliefs, also violates their coping mechanism. I don't agree with that. That seems way too overgeneralized, because politically stubborn is already like a badly defined term. Do you mean politically stubborn? Like, does that mean they are unwilling to change their mind? And even then, if you're unwilling to change your mind, well, you should always be willing to change your mind a little bit. But having strong positions isn't a bad thing. You can't just be very convinced of a position. And if you have a good argument for it, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. That in order for you to have really good pronunciation in your target language, you should wait a year or something to start speaking. Do you think this is true? No, I don't think this is true. What I think is true, though, is focusing on speaking, like spending X amount, spending like 50% of your time, hey shiny, spending like 50% of your time in the first year just trying to really speak a lot, I would say that's a waste of time. That's what I would say. I don't think it's like, this is like one of the things that Matt does, is that he'll make these statements that are kind of true, but he'll phrase them in like the most extreme way possible, where it's like, oh, if you want to learn perfect pronunciation, this is the only thing you can do, and like if you don't, it's never going to work. I don't think it's not quite that clear cut, I don't think. But the true aspect of it is that speaking, or what Krashen, our Lord and Savior, would say output, right? Or in general, language acquisition, people would call it output. Output is not super important, you know? The output is not very important in your beginning stages. You should be focusing on input. You can think of it as like, in simple terms, right? You can never say a word you don't know. By definition, if you don't know a word, you can't say it, you can't speak it, you can't output it. And how do you know words? Well, via input. So when you're starting a language, you have nothing to output with. So it's kind of futile to try and focus on that. So you should be focusing on input. You should build a knowledge base in your brain so that you can start using it afterwards. And in the first year of learning, I would say speaking is way overvalued as a practice by itself. But here's the thing. Here's what I will say is that this is a bit of a close-minded way of thinking about speaking, because if you say like speaking is useless, that's kind of true. But the context in which you would usually speak is a conversation. And guess what else happens in a conversation? The other person gives you an answer. And the moment the other person gives you an answer, you're no longer speaking, you're listening, right? So in the context where you're actually talking to Japanese people, even in the first year, you can learn a lot through doing that. But it's not really you talking that does the learning there. It's more about you listening to the answers you'll get, or you listening to the Japanese people and getting the input, and like maybe them correcting you on some stuff. That can really help. But again, like what's really helping you there isn't necessarily you speaking. It's more like the answers you're going to get, where speaking is a means to an end. So that's why I think it's so reductive to say you don't speak. Because you could speak. There is situations when you have like people on Discord, or Japanese people that you talk to on Discord or Skype or whatever, or even in real life, where the speaking part could be really good because it enables you to actually get responses and stuff like that. What are your thoughts about good practices to get better pitch accent in Japanese sentences? I don't know, because I struggle myself. I think my pitch is mediocre. I think I do better at pitch accent than someone who's completely unaware of it, and worse than someone who's studying it successfully. My thoughts on pitch is, I think you can do quite a bit by just very active listening. So, for example, when you listen to Japanese, don't just listen to what they're saying. Try and listen to like, well, what accent, what pitch did that word have? Try and pick up on the pitch accent that they had when they said that sentence. Like, was that heiban there? Did they drop on the particle? Listen for those things. And you can kind of train yourself to listen to that a little bit. Also, when you listen to Kansai Ben, try and listen like, well, how is that different? And I say this like, this is very hard to do. I can't really do it reliably at all. I hear pitch, I hear it, but often it's kind of vague, where I'm like, when I listen to Kansai Ben, I can clearly hear that the pitch is different. The patterns are different, but I'm not like, my brain can't process it like fast enough to where I could say, oh, it should have been up there, but it went down. Like, I can't pinpoint that easily, but I can tell like, okay, it's a different pitch pattern. I can recognize that it differs from standard, but my brain is like way too fast at like actually pointing it out. So that's one thing. Really, really active listening to pitch can help. I'm assuming something like shadowing might help. So if you record yourself and trying to imitate something you hear a native speaker say, ideally someone that speaks Hyojingo, because you would want to learn like a neutral accent there. That could help, then you analyze later. And I think one thing that could help is if you have a really dedicated, patient native speaker friend that can be brutally honest with you. You can train with them. But honestly, that's like the hardest part or for most of us netizens of the world, I think that's probably the hardest part, is to find like a Japanese person that is available, that is able, that you know well enough so that you know they're going to be honest with you in terms of like the mistakes you're making, and that is also like willing and all that. Like you need to kind of find a person there. If you can do that though, that's great, because well, what you can do, and what I've heard people do, is through services like italki or like the tutors that they will get the tutor, the native speaker tutor, to help them with that, where they're like, I'm going to speak, but when you hear me do the pitch wrong, point it out, tell me what I'm doing wrong, help me improve. But that's a very arduous process, and you need to be quite resilient to do that, because most people, me included, at some point, if you're constantly there getting your mistakes pointed out, it kind of sucks. The type of learning where it's all about having your mistakes pointed out is kind of rough, because it doesn't make you feel great if all you're hearing is like, oh, you got that wrong. Oh, you need to change that. That was wrong. You need to be kind of the bigger person there to be like, okay, I'm just going to focus. I'm going to improve this, improve that. It's kind of stressful. But yeah, those would be my ways of learning pitch accent probably. And then other than that, I don't know. Buy Dogen's Patreon, I guess. I've never tried it. I don't know how good it is. Maybe it's good. People say it's good. Or buy a book on pitch accent or something like that. It's kind of tough. I don't know. That's all I can say. I'm imagining someone 10 months into learning Japanese visiting Japan and trying to best to avoid speaking to anyone in case permanent damage is true. Can I pass as a native speaker on Discord? No. I cannot. Dude, I can barely pass as a native speaker in English on Discord. When I talk to people that are actually from America, usually the answer I get is, you're incredibly close, but I can tell it's not native. That's usually the answer I get, is incredibly close, but not quite there. So if I can't even pass as a native English speaker, I definitely can't pass as a native Japanese speaker. Would be nice though. It's a good goal. It sounds like it'd be counterproductive until you're like good enough that you're making few enough mistakes to actually concentrate on things that you can improve. I'm weirded when a native just tells me it's fine, but is it really? Yeah, that's a big thing too. That's why I said it's kind of hard to find a person that's willing to point out your mistakes, because even for the other person, there's a lot of people that don't really want to do that because it feels bad. If you're in the situation where you have to constantly point out someone else's mistakes, even if they told you to, it kind of feels bad. And then some people also don't handle it that well. So even if the other person tells you, like, when I make a mistake, point it out, you can still kind of tell, like, oh, I pointed it out because they told me to, but I can still tell how they're getting more and more upset now because I keep pointing out mistakes. So yeah, you need to like find one. When I tell people I spend 6 to 9 hours a day listening to my target language, to act like it's something crazy to do. It's a hardcore thing for a normal person to do. I don't think so. It's how I learned English, but it wasn't like a language study. It was just because there was stuff I wanted to listen to, and it made me better at English. 6 to 9 hours is a lot of, don't get me wrong, 6 to 9 hours is a lot of time, but it kind of also depends on what you do. If you have a job, are you allowed to like listen to podcasts while you do your job? If yes, it's probably not that much, 6 to 9 hours. That's what I do. I constantly have like YouTube videos playing when I work. So yeah, like podcasts and streams and stuff like that. Several mistakes % be very rough. Oh yeah, also to talk about what you said, Kaze. I think, that thing that I describe about like having a tutor or a native point out mistakes like that, I also don't think that's good for beginners. I actually think that for beginner Japanese learners, you're better off to sort of have like a basic awareness that pitch exists and kind of how it works. I think that's good. Like if you have a basic awareness, like, okay, in Japanese, there's this thing called pitch accent. I'm not quite sure how it works, but it goes like up and down, and their basic patterns are either it's kind of like starts slow and stays high, unlike English, right? That's the most important one to sort of be able to hear, is how it like stays high. That's the most common mistake that English-speaking people will make when they learn Japanese, is instead of being able to say gakko, they'll always drop, because the tendency in English is that you drop towards the end of the word. So they'll say gakko, or whatever, and then they get the vowels wrong too. So be able to, the best skill to have when you talk about pronunciation is to actually hear what the natives are saying. And that sounds so trivial, but it's not. It's being able to hear exactly the sound you need to make is a really good skill to have. And I think I'm decent at that because I learned a handful of different languages early on in school. So when I grew up, I had to learn French and I had to learn English at school. And those two languages are very different. And the pronunciation is very different. And learning languages at school early on that are different from your native language and having people that are like decent at speaking them, you notice like, well, okay, in French, I can't just say the French vowels like I say the German vowels, like they're clearly different. And if you are aware early on of that, it kind of expands your sound vocabulary. And then if you're exposed to a new language, you have the ear for like listening exactly to what vowels and consonants and stuff that the people are saying in that language. Do you think it's possible to learn pitch accent naturally? I think it's possible, but I've also heard a lot of people talk about how, and I've experienced it personally, where I don't think I will improve my pitch by just listening to more Japanese. I don't know how well I will do it. I think there are people that do it naturally, but I think to perfect it, most people have to put some extra effort into training themselves. Because think about how many people you hear speak English that will have an accent for the rest of their life. Like, there's a lot of people, like someone mentioned PewDiePie earlier. PewDiePie still has kind of this weird accent. At this point, it's more of an idiolect rather than a dialect, actually, or an accent. Where an idiolect is a specific way that a person talks rather than being based on the region that they're from. It's kind of their own thing. At this point, I think PewDiePie would have like an idiolect. He doesn't sound like a native English speaker. He's somewhere in between in his own little space, right? And I don't think that will ever change. I think this is the accent that he has adopted as his accent, right? And I think that if you don't make an effort to change these things, or if you maybe you're not interested in changing it. I'm also not saying that it's a bad thing, right? It's being Swedish, he has a very typical Swedish English accent. Oh, okay, I guess he has like a more of a Swedish, but like my point is that accent that he has, for the amount of time he's been speaking English online and with his friends and in his real life, that accent's probably never going to go away. Except if he tries and train himself to get rid of it, which I don't think he will. I don't think he thinks it's a bad thing. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But if your goal is to get rid of an accent, or your goal is to get perfect pitch accent in Japanese, then I think active training is probably required for most people, because most people probably don't have the natural ear to just hear other people and also especially hear themselves where they're getting it wrong. You know, it's pretty difficult to do that, I think. It's not something that, if you haven't like learned multiple languages like as a kid, probably, then I think it's a hard thing to do. I missed so much chat. Sorry, wait, let me go back. I'd have believed you. Thank you, Unboxes. That's good. I'm glad. If you make several mistakes, percent be very rough. We read that. I know it's non-native tempo in your speech. Now that you mentioned it, I wasn't looking for it. It's probably hard to tell. Do you think it's natural to learn pitch? We talked about that just now. What about you advising about studying Japanese that doesn't apply to any other language apart from being logographic? Nothing really. I don't think Japanese is that unique. My experience of learning Japanese has not been very unique compared to me learning English or French or whatever. It's just a language. I don't think there's anything unique about it. I think people that make it sound like Japanese is this like magical, unique thing are actually detrimental to the learning community, because there's really nothing that special about it. It's just another language. It has some interesting stuff, but I actually am more interested in seeing where it aligns with other languages. That's quite interesting to me when I see like, oh, the way that this grammar structure works in Japanese is actually almost identical to how it works in German, for example, or stuff like that. I quite like pointing out similarities where like, and that's not to say that they're related, but it's often fun to see like, oh, it just happens to be that this thing you can do in this other language, one-to-one also can be done in Japanese with the same structures or whatever, right? So yeah, I think might be really viable if you're native speaking. Wait, sorry. I think that might only really viable if you, yeah, maybe. But like English has a rhythm and there's a right and the wrong way to pronounce things. And English actually, now here's the thing. English has a lot of vowels, okay? English has a shit ton of vowels, and if you've ever seen an English vowel chart, you'll see how many there are. Like if you go look up like vowel chart for different languages, Japanese mostly just has 4. A, I, U, 5, sorry. A, I, U, E, O, right? English has like a bunch. You even have like 4 different like 4 different A vowels, right? You have like and cat, a, that's an a. Then you have like what else would be that? It would be like mad is all a. Now I can only think of a. But you get my point, right? You have a bunch of different ones. People will put examples. English has a hell of a lot of different vowels. There's a lot of stuff about English that makes it hard, just like there's a lot of stuff about other languages that make them hard. I'm just saying, like maybe if you, but I think that if you grow up monolingual and you don't really speak other languages until you're in your teens or late teens, you probably don't ever develop like a sense of those things. You just kind of grow accustomed to them. So yeah. Did I miss the part of the day where the game happens? Also, congrats on me. Thanks, you did miss it. I rage quit from Persona after getting defeated by some BS attacks. You don't need to get rid of an accent. You just need to be easily understood. Yeah, so again, like, hear me out. Like, I'm not saying that anyone needs to get rid of their accent. Getting rid of an accent is completely like a personal journey. It's a personal goal that you can have, but you don't need to have it. It's, for me personally, I feel like I need to really qualify this because people easily take the wrong idea. I'm not saying that you need to get rid of your accent. I'm saying that for me personally, when I try and learn a language, making the pronunciation as native as possible is part of the learning process for me. But that doesn't mean that it needs to be part for you, right? If you are okay as long as you're understood, that's totally cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, if anyone tries to tell you that that's not the right way to do it, then you can tell them to stick it somewhere where why no one gets to decide what the right way is. It's just, it's just, for me personally, I consider the pronunciation to be quite important for my own sort of development when I learn a language. So I want to do it as best as I can, and I don't consider myself done with learning until I've like perfected it. And by extension, I never really consider myself done. I still try and improve my English pronunciation. When I notice patterns that I struggle at, I still try to like fix little things that I notice about myself. And I mean, I just recently talked about how much it bothers me that I can't really say the word like sixth and fifth and stuff like that, which is really hard to say for me. So yeah. I love when people have accents. While I get why you want to sound like a native, I do, but some corners of Japanese community paint is such a huge negative. Yeah, it's nothing to be ashamed of. I just think it's cool. I think pursuing good pronunciation is like fun by itself. Like I've had a lot of fun learning about basic like phonetical or basic phonological, I guess, basic phonological things. Like it was a lot of fun for me to sort of read Wikipedia about Japanese phonology, and it's like, oh cool, like you have these vowels and like they also changed over time, and like this is how you say that, and oh, this vowel is actually similar to this vowel in this other language and stuff like that. And that's fun. For me, that's fun. It's fun to learn about that stuff, and it's fun to try and improve in that area. So yeah, I think like at the same time that it's not a requirement, it's also doesn't have to be like a chore. It genuinely can be fun to try and work on your accent, your pronunciation. Kind of its own charm and characteristics. Yes. When did you start learning Japanese and why? Over 10 years ago, and because I was bored. I have like my story for learning Japanese. Azu! Hey! My story for learning Japanese is not like super... wait, 1 second. I'm just gonna message my girlfriend real quick. My my like reason is not super deep. I was in high school and I had a ton of time on my hands, and I just happened to like, I was reading manga, but I was reading in English back then. I was reading manga in English and I was watching anime mostly in Japanese with subtitles. I didn't know any Japanese. And I don't really know how it happened, but I just happened to sort of stumble upon an app called, what was it called? Obenkyo. It was called Obenkyo. It was an app called Obenkyo, which might still be around actually. And that app just happened to have a offline copy of Taikim's Guide. So I opened the app and there was a section called grammar, and I just clicked on it, or I tapped on it, and it just had all the chapters from Taikim's guide. So I just started reading. It was just interesting. Again, I was at high school. I was in high school at the time, and I was learning French and I was learning English in high school. And being exposed to like grammar explanations that are so not radically, that are so different yet somehow still familiar, because like Taikim would open a chapter and it'd be like, now we're going to learn about adverbs, right? And I was like, oh, I already know what an adverb is. Like I literally learned how adverbs work in English, and I learned how they work in German, and I learned how they work in French. Now I get to learn how they work in Japanese. That's kind of cool. So I was just scrolling on my phone. I would spend break time, or when I was on the bus, I would read about the grammar. And then one thing just kind of led to another, because there would be like vocab, and I was like, well, the app would also teach you hiragana and katakana, so I learned those. I had so much free time. I learned them in like a week. All I did was write the kana table over and over and over again. It's just fun to do. And I never really decided that I'm gonna learn Japanese now. Like I never made that decision consciously. I literally I had the app and I was reading it, and before I knew it, I was studying Japanese. But it was never like a super conscious decision. It was just like, as I went on, it became more and more realistic that I would probably be able to make more and more progress in this language. And I was like, well, this is really fun. I just want to keep going, and I want to see where it goes. And if I learn something along the way, that's good, and then I'll use it. And if not, it's still fun. So I never had like the huge goals or whatever, right? My goal early on was to speak. My goal early on was to be able to read manga and watch anime, because I mean that's what I was doing. I was like, it'd be cool to read it in the original. So yeah, thanks for following Spitzy Speaks JP. And then also like bibbidi babbidi boo. Exactly, that's what I wanted to say. And also because my goal was to kind of read manga, I focused on getting closer to that goal pretty early. Like I mentioned it before, but I bought a manga. I actually bought Magi, Labyrinth of Magic, because this happened to be a show that I watched at the time, and I was like, I'll buy the manga in Japanese. So I bought the manga in paperback. I talked about it earlier, and I just had the manga in front of me, and I opened it up, and it was like, also, here's actually, if you're starting to learn Japanese, here's actually a cheat code, okay? This is the only one that actually works, okay? If you want a cheat code, anyone tells you like, shortcut to learning a language, it's all BS except for this one cheat code. And here's the cheat code. The cheat code is simply try and read a material that you're previously familiar with. That's it. It's as easy as that. The first manga that I tried to read, I'd already watched the anime for. And it helps you to sort of give you the context you need. Like, I didn't remember every single piece of dialogue. I didn't remember every piece of vocab that showed up in the anime. But I remembered broad character interactions. I was like, oh yeah, I remember in this scene they kind of talked about this, and the result of it was kind of that. And that was already a huge help compared to having no freaking idea at all what's going on, right? So that's the one thing that's actually like a cheat code. If you pick a material that you're already a little bit familiar with, maybe you've read it a long time ago, maybe you've engaged with it before, maybe you just happen to know a little bit about it. A lot of people read like Harry Potter in Japanese, for example. It's a huge help, because especially if you're studying by yourself, you have no one there to directly ask, then the sort of previous knowledge that you have is kind of your sensei. It's kind of your it's like pointing you in the right direction. It gives you a sort of yes, no check at the end of a page to be like, did I understand that correctly? And if you have nothing, then that's really hard to do that check at the end. And having that check is kind of like a superpower, because it sort of helps you be more certain about the learning progress that you're making. You're like, look, I understood this correctly, and I know I did. Like, I don't need anyone to tell me. I actually know that I understood this correctly, because I remember that this is what they were trying to say, and that's how I interpreted it again. It's been lovely finding you today. Can't wait to pop in more sometime. Yes, thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think Dolgan also says to just pick up a movie or a piece of media you like and watch and repeat. Yeah, it's definitely helpful. So yeah, that's what I did. And I sat down and I had this manga in front of me, and I just opened the first page, and it was like, boom, just freaking like not 100, but there's like, okay, 30 words I didn't know. And I got to work. I pulled up my dictionary and I was like, first word, okay, freaking maho. Oh, I think I've heard that in anime before. Oh, magic. Okay, magic. I'll add that to Anki later. And then I did, there are some times when I did Anki pretty religiously, where it's like every day I did my half an hour to an hour of Anki. Then I didn't do it for like a few months and I got back. I never did a lot of my own Anki cards. I mostly just did the core deck to build basic vocab. I think it's probably good. But I never really focused too much on like, I need to make all my own Anki cards. Even back then I was too lazy to do that. But I was very diligent about looking words up, and I would look up words over and over and over again. So that was my way of doing Anki, is that if I was reading and I looked up a word, I would try and remember it. And I put my phone away, I keep reading. If 5 pages later the same word shows up again, I don't know it, I will go look it up again. That was my way of doing spaced repetition, was like, if I don't know the word, I will go look it up again. I was very strict with myself, and that turned into sometimes being pretty annoyed after looking up, because you'll remember the word. You'll remember like, oh, I looked up this word, but you don't remember what it means. And that sometimes that happens like 4 or 5 times in a row. It's very frustrating, but I was very strict with myself with that. And that really helped. That really sort of solidified a lot of vocab early on. Worth mentioning, Learn Natively. Can we choose a book first? I think, is it the website I'm thinking it is? I think this is the website I think it is. I should bookmark this. 1 second. Hey, Sonic, you're a beast for real. Also should make this talk a YouTube video. I should, huh? I'm recording it, so there we go. Wait, I need to go add this Learn Natively thing to my bookmarks. Learn Native. Learn. I have been on that website before, I think. Wait, Learn Natively. Learn Natively. Bookmark. Japanese. Dude, I have so many bookmarks. Reading. Boom. That's one thing. Over the years, I have collected, like, I think over 100 bookmarks for all, like, Japanese resources. Do you recommend learning 2 languages at the same time? I'm learning Japanese, but I haven't achieved fluency in English yet. You seem proficient enough in English. I don't think it's an issue. I don't think that's... I think if you're at the point where you can understand most things and the way you communicate with me, I didn't notice that there was like a big issue with your English. I don't think it will be an issue. I think that is more of a concern if you're trying to start 2 languages at the same time. It gets a bit confusing. But I think from just reading your messages, I think your English is at the point where you kind of understand most things anyway, and English is probably going to be really useful for you to learn more Japanese, because you're probably going to use English to read a lot about Japanese grammar and stuff like that. I'm a beast. I wish I was a beast, then I would do beastly things. If I was a core... I tried reading a VN with simultaneous GAN. Hit sometimes the EN for the full immersion helped a lot. Yeah, there's also... I can't think of... a lot of games, ironically, or not ironically, but funny enough, I think Nekopara has that feature where you can have the English and the Japanese on the screen at the same time. Am I lying? That might be true. I don't know. I haven't played it. But there are some VNs that will do that, where you can have both languages on the screen at the same time. However, there's a huge caveat there as well. I've seen people get really confused by that too. So here's the deal, is that if you have the translation and the original at the same time, sometimes the translation is quite a lot more liberal than you might think. So the translation might still say the same thing, but maybe had it like reordered the whole sentence. So what you're seeing right now doesn't actually match up with whatever the original was right now. And it will match up as soon as you go like further by 1 or 2 clicks. Maybe it eventually will say the same thing, but the order might be completely different. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse. It's a Moroha no Tsurugi. Moroha no Tsurugi is a double-edged sword, okay? Because the translations don't always line up perfectly. Because keep in mind, translations made for translation's sake aren't made for you to study with. That's not the concern. The concern is like, how can we make this, like a localization, right? How can we make this understandable by people that speak that language? How does it fit the best, right? So that's not always, those 2 goals don't always align. Most of the time they don't, actually. I also didn't use Anki, mostly read. A lot of the time wasn't able to divide the words properly. I actually have, that's an issue that I am a little bit conscious of. So when I play games in Japanese and I do full translations for like what I do with Ace Attorney, because this is kind of a learning focused community. Well, I say kind of. This is a learning focused community. We're focusing on like, how do you study Japanese, right? When I do live translation stuff, I make a point to keep the translation when I can. I try and keep the sentence order like as close to the Japanese as I can, without making it sound too weird. Like I don't go full like as close as possible, because then you just end up with really strange sentences most of the time. But when I can think of like ways to be like, well, okay, here they said kind of that part first, so I'll try and like put that part first in the translation. I don't try and like mix it up too much, or I don't try and like interpret it too freely, because I think for learning purposes, it's easier if I can stick close to the original. Barely know Japanese, but already notice the difference sometimes when I'm watching with English subtitles. Yeah. And it's like, here's the thing, right? Is that like, for language learning, often people talk about their goals or their motivations. Like, what's a good goal, right? Like, I've heard that conversation a few times where it's like, my goal is to live in Japan because I want to be an animator for that studio, and I'm like, that's my dream. And everyone's like, wow, that's such a good goal, man. That's great. But then part of me can't help but think like, that's a good goal, but what are you doing with that goal, right? Like, does it actually get you to study an hour every day? Is it actually like doing that? Because a goal is nice, but a goal is going to stay a goal forever if it doesn't actually get you to do what you need to do. And motivation is nice too, but you can be ultra motivated, but if you don't have a direction that the motivation points you in that is kind of clear and tangible, then it's like kind of goes to waste. At the same time, someone can have, if we go back to the Reddit poster, right? Someone can have a go like, I just want to play lots of Nukiga in Japanese. And if that guy freaking plays those games every day for 6 hours, he's going to be really good at Japanese, even though the goal was kind of silly and stupid, right? So, like, as someone who successfully dropped out of university, thank you very much, I know all too well that motivation is nice and goals are nice, but there is so many things you can do, and I should have done them. But like, it's like, you can always like, hindsight is 2020, right? But there's so many things you can do that actually enable you to be effective. Things like making tangible milestones, things like a study schedule, things like setting small goals for yourself that are actually reachable, little deadlines, be more focused of like, not what is your goal, but how are you going to get there? That's so much more important. And it's so important for like learning a language that requires hundreds of hours, because let's be honest, being native or being fluent is a pretty bad goal if you can't tell me. I always say this to people. It's like, your goal is good, but you should be able to tell me every day what you're doing on that day that is realistic, that gets you closer to that goal. Like, that's actually what will help, right? It's like, if you have a goal and in the morning you get up and you could tell me like, this is my goal. Today, I'm going to do these 5 things and they're going to get me closer to the goal. Then I'm like, dude, you got it. You're good. You're going to reach the goal. But if you have like, get up in the morning and ask you, this is, and you say, this is my goal. I have no freaking idea how I'm going to achieve it. Well, then the goal isn't doing you any good. So yeah, it's all about like, I think it's so much of it is, especially before you've built all the habits. Habits are great, but building them is difficult. Once you've built the habit, it's easy. If you're reading an hour every day before you go to sleep, and then like after doing that for a year, you're good. You're going to keep doing that. It's your habit now. But building habits is hard. And when you're in the stage of building habits, that sort of plan in your head is really important. And I think it goes for anything you do in your life. I feel like that's after I dropped out of uni, but even when I was still at uni and I was doing really poorly, I more and more started to realize like how important that is. But yeah. All right. Barely be a good animator on Twitter, and an anime studio will hire you remotely. That's true. Yeah, I saw that Ian got more gung-ho sentences than the Japanese lines. Only looked at the translation when the words made no sense. It's better to have short-term goals. Yeah, milestones are good. It's gonna get Bigfoot hairy hands. What? I don't even know what the context was for that. Say Japanese for 6 months, and now I'm able to learn vocabulary using I+1 sentences. So I wouldn't start from learning Japanese from scratch because of that. I would have to start listening to it. I'm trying to process that sentence. So I wouldn't start learning Japanese from scratch because of that. I would have to start. Okay, well, I mostly get what you're trying to say. I think in general, process is much more important than the goals. Yeah, it's just like the ability to just have like an idea what you're gonna do each day to get you closer to a goal is like so underrated. It's people always think like, oh, I need to have these goals, but goals don't really matter. You need to have a way to get there. Also, what's the reality? Are you a good animator? And even if you're weird, you're like, sure, it's just an example. I don't think we need to go too deep, but yes, you're of course right. You're like the work culture, blah, blah, hire of Korea, they hire you, but they pay you a living wage. There's a lot of stuff to consider, but the point was more like people distinguish between good and bad goals, but I don't think there's such a thing. I think there's only goals and ways to get there. And I think there's good and bad ways to get there. Or rather, a way to get there is good and not having a way to get there is always bad. But yes. Okay. Well. If it isn't 9 p.m., I think I'm going to call it a day here. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. I had a ton of time. I had a fun time today. Okay, listen, for those of you on YouTube, if you want to catch the next stream, links in the description for Discord. I don't know if you use Discord, but for me, it's like probably the best way I know how to notify people, because on Discord, I always yes. Poggu. Thank you for it, Chip. Thank you so much. On Discord, I always send out a ping. You have to opt in, though. It's an opt-in, okay? I'll show you what I mean. If we go to Discord, yeah, you can do. Wait, I'll do this. Well, for you on YouTube, you can get the link from the description. But for you on Twitch, this should work. Did it work, bro? I don't know. It might not have worked. Here, does it work? Come on, post it. Okay, my Twitch thing isn't working. Hey, thanks for joining. What I wanted to show you is this, okay? The notification is opt-in. The bot also tells you, but if you want the notification, you have to actually go here and click on this thing, and you'll get a notification. It's not automatic. It's only for those, because then the notification itself looks like, oops, time. So it's opt-in, that's why. But yeah, if you do want to get notification for a stream, I think this is a very good way to do it. And I don't know, on YouTube, I guess you can just like hit the bell or whatever people do on YouTube, right? And yeah, I dual stream. You probably noticed if you've seen like chat come from 2 different places. But yeah, I'm on Twitch and on YouTube at the same time here, if it wasn't already clear. All right, my next stream is going to be Friday. I think we're going to play more Persona. I kind of just want to get, I want to make progress in Persona. I say that after rage quitting and losing an hour of progress. That's very good. Very good, me. Very well done. Well done, me. I'm probably going to redo that maybe tomorrow when I get home or something. But yeah, I want to like make progress in Persona and like hopefully finish the game in a reasonable amount of time, hopefully early this year, so that we can also finish some of the other games. I also have Yakuza 0, which I still need to finish, where we're also sort of like 60-70% done, I think. But yeah, that's all good. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to end the YouTube stream, and then over on Twitch, we're going to keep going for a few more seconds so that I'll go raid someone. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you Friday, hopefully. Thanks, everyone. All right. So we're going to do... And this one here, I think I